Welcome to Day 5 and the final events to crown team champions at the 2022 ACC Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. Nestled in Atlanta, the teams are getting ready, including Virginia there on the flats of Georgia Tech inside the picturesque McAuley Aquatic Center. It's the last chance for teams to challenge Virginia and NC State on the women's and men's sides respectively. With three-time Olympic gold medalist Brooke Bennett and former Division I diving head coach Jason Ballman, I'm Dave Leno. Here's a look at the women's standings through 15 events. UVA has swept the relay so far for a second consecutive year, including 10 gold medals to pace the other schools. NC State and Louisville trying to catch the Cavaliers today. We begin the final day of the championships with the women's 1650 freestyle. Here's the parade for the final heat. The top time out of 4 heats will win gold. In lane number 1, Paige McCormick is a sophomore for Louisville. She started the ACC's last year, 18th in this event. In lane number 2 is Yura Heirat, the sophomore for NC State, also starred for Germany with their junior national teams. Lane number 3 is Maddie Donahue, a junior from Virginia, 16:04.85 B-cut time. Focus in lane number 4, Liberty Williams for Arthur Albiero's team that stars at the distant races for the Cardinals. Lane number 5 is the Olympian, the silver medalist of the 400 IM in Tokyo, and Emma Wyatt. She's handling the mantle from Paige Madden for UVA. Lane number 6 is Chase Travis, a sophomore for Virginia Tech, NCAA's last year, 25th in this event. Lane number 7 for Notre Dame is Maggie Graves, a 2-time All-American in her prep career, starred in Illinois at a Barrington. And in lane number 8 for Pitt is Jacqueline Tinney, sophomore on campus, 10th last year in the ACCs in the 1650 free. And Brooke, tonight is going to focus on Williams and Wyatt.
Yeah, let's talk about Liberty Williams with the fastest time that we've seen this year for this conference. She is that true distance swimmer. So as the events get longer, she gets better. So you're going to see her stay strong throughout this. Originally from California, making the decision to come out and swim for Louisville. She was second in the 500 free earlier this week and second in this event last year at the ACCs.
Take your mark.
We got a long way to go. Pace yourself. We've got 66 laps here of the pool. The longest event that is swum in the pool. They just added a 1500 we saw at the Olympic Games, which is exciting. I just would have loved to have swum that event during my time. Much like I said with Liberty Williams, getting better as the distance gets longer. That was very much my trait as well.
She and Gabby Albiero for Louisville have really starred just as freshmen last year in what they've done from just being a freshman to now a sophomore with the program, not just in individual events, also in relays in particular. For Albiero, it is important to note that Brooke Travis from Heat 3 in lane 1 has the top time right now at 16:11.88. That is the top time, and whoever can best that will win gold to start us off on day 5.
That's right, Dave. So the 1650, very much like we've seen all the relays this week, there is no preliminary swim. So the times that these ladies are entered in are their fastest times that they've gone this season. So we've had 3 heats previously to the final starting. So those times currently stand. So anybody from those early heats can place into the top 8, could possibly get onto the medal stand. So we'll have to see how Brooke Travis holds with that time that she swam probably less than an hour ago as they were finishing up that and these ladies were getting in for their warm-up.
I mentioned Emma Wyatt trying to take the reins from graduated and Olympian Paige Madden. She won this event the last 2 ACCs, last year with the time of 15:45.45. Again, the top is Travis of North Carolina State, 16:11.88, and second is Foley of NC State, and third is Madison Luther of Louisville.
Right, and let's look at the seed times right now, just so you guys know. Liberty is entered in. She's the only one that has swam under the 16-minute mark this season. Her time at 15:53.6. Emma Wyatt follows in at 16:02.5. And Madeline Donahue over there in lane 3, also from UVA, 16:04.85. So if these girls swim at their best times, this will clearly put them on the award stand tonight.
Williams still with the lead over Wyatt in lanes 4 and 5. Williams comes from Riverside Aquatics Association, a 3-time Olympic trials qualifier as well. 26 the NCAAs in this event last year. Wyatt not far behind. What can Wyatt take from the 400 IM, I mentioned getting silver at Tokyo, into this event?
Well, and she was also your 500 free champion earlier in the week. So, as I've mentioned before in the races that we've seen, you can see that Liberty's taking a nice little lead. Wyatt breathing to her side and riding right on her hips. Now, Wyatt doesn't want to let her go any more than that. That's just kind of the zone where Wyatt can feel that she's in the race. It's about a half a body length lead, but Liberty's going to try to continue to press that, try to press Wyatt out of her comfort zone. She's really in control of this race, but if you let Wyatt stay right on your hips, that's going to be trouble, I think, going in. So the strategy is here. It's going to come down close, I would say, you know, really a 2-person race here. We can see the ladies behind them. Going to press that time to finish 3rd. But Liberty Williams looking incredibly strong right now.
You mentioned 3rd, that's Chase Travis of Virginia Tech. Wave 2 U.S. Olympic trials last year in the 400 and 800 events. Also brings a slew of junior national team experience in the 1500 race as well. The Williams out in front. And speaking with Arthur Albiero, he said, Brooke, that along with Williams and also his daughter, Gabby Albiero, they lost considerable time last year. Actually didn't swim all of January in that COVID year, but have come on strong despite that lapse of training. And you're seeing that come to fruition, especially this year at the ACCs for the distance swimmer Williams right there.
And she's holding about 28 mids on her 50s right now. In the 1650, you'll see a very different stroke tempo, a lot of upper body. Distance swimmers, especially as you get into these longer events, are going to swim probably about 80% of upper body. The legs are in there. Kind of say it's like your rudder. You can look at her feet. It's a 2-beat kick, but I promise you there's a lot of power in that 2-beat kick. But you're going to let them go, just kind of move you through the water.
How about for the lap counters here? Who draws the short straw to count all those 66 laps and keep the swimmers aware with how they're doing throughout the race? Or is it just someone that they're comfortable with?
I don't think it's a short straw. That's a privilege to stand down there. No, I'm not. You know, if some of these swimmers are like me, you certainly had one person on your team that you would always turn to be your lap counter. You want that familiarity, you want consistency. I had a teammate of mine, she was almost, I looked up to her as a big sister, and we had cues based off of what my coach was saying on the side of the pool deck. If the counter was steady, hold pace, if she swung it side to side, which never happened, you needed to slow down, you were over swimming, and then if she moved the counter up and down rapidly, it meant go faster. And I kid you not, that counter in every single one of my events always went up and down to go faster. Like, come on. But no, it is key. I always use the counter as a backup. I kept the count in my head. This is how I want to swim the race. You know, they have a strategy going in as each 500 per se going to get a little bit faster. You want to know where you are, where you want to pick up that tempo, bring the legs in a little bit more.
It's all Williams who's out in front right now. Again, Wyatt is still in 2nd. Travis trying to hold on in 3rd in lane number 6 for Virginia Tech as well. Williams was the runner-up last year at the ACCs to Paige Madden.
And she's been very consistent. 28 fours, very consistent. That's exactly where she wants to be, and we're just approaching the halfway point.
Having an even bigger lead here over Wyatt. We'll step aside. A strong start for Louisville's Liberty Williams, the conclusion of the women's 1650 freestyle when we return to Atlanta. Women's 1650 freestyle. Lane number 4, Liberty Williams still with the lead, and she's had this lead from the outset. Chase Travis has taken second in lane number 6 for Virginia Tech. It was formerly Emma Wyatt of Virginia who was in second place.
Yes, and Liberty Williams was doing a great job in this swim. And let's talk about Emma Wyatt for a minute. You know, I think clearly the 1650, not her strongest swim, but this is what happens when you come in as a freshman. You know, you end up swimming these events probably hoping that there's another distance swimmer to kind of take it over. She's got the speed, we know, in the 200, in those IMs, but doing a great job. And as an Olympian, so much composure and just knowing that she has to get in there and get the job done. I talked to DeSorbo during warm-up about the strategy that she had for staying home and delaying coming in as a freshman. And that was a tough decision, I think, between her club coach back at home, them. She really wanted to be a part of the team, and actually, believe it or not, she did come up to start off the year. She was going to start off classes, but the weekend as they moved in on campus, one of the freshman girls ended up getting COVID. They all got quarantined and got sent home, and at that point in time, Wyatt and her coaches made the decision that she was going to stay in Florida. She was going to train in Sarasota. Myself living there, you know that in an open pool, there were no restrictions. She knew she was going to get plenty of pool space. And she wasn't the only Olympian that we saw do that. Reagan Smith delayed going into Stanford for a year and stayed home in Minnesota just to get that training. So I know Wyatt is excited to start this collegiate career as a freshman. And though maybe not up here in front, she's putting points together and grinding it out in a 1650 on probably an event that she doesn't consider one of her favorites.
She's been a long course specialist. It's also important to note that Williams, who's out in front, is about 2 laps ahead of swimmers aside of her, in particular on the outside lane. So when you're looking into your picture and see the swimmer coming from behind, it's Williams, who you see right there, is well out in front, again by about 2 laps as our leader. And she has led from the start of our longest race of the championships.
Right, and that 50, she's just gone now over the 29 mark. She was holding 28s pretty consistently every 50, threw in a 29 there, so we'll see here. She's gonna be coming back down to lap 50, so 16 more to go. And here's where she's just gotta race the clock. You know, best time that she's done is 15:53. So a time here will place her well for next month going into the NC2As.
At what point do you feel that, whether it's, forget Williams who's out in front, but the swimmers that are in second and third, like Travis and Wyatt, when do you start to make a move in the 1650?
Well, you know, right now the race is not close. We see that Chase has really pulled away for second place. Emma Wyatt now is holding on to 4th. Her teammate Madeline is in 3rd now, and they're not close. So there aren't going to be a lot of moves. At this point in time in the race, you feel every flip turn like your stomach is flipping upside down. So you're just holding on for this for dear life. You're ready for the lap counter to show double orange, trust me.
Again, you're watching the 8 fastest entry times swimming this final heat. Heat 4 of 4, again, that top time is going to win gold. Right now held by Brooke Travis, if you're just joining us. Earlier today, a 16:11.88. She's a junior from North Carolina State. And of course, Williams trying to top that for gold.
And Liberty Williams now back into the 28s. That 50 was 28.62. And you can see her breathing to her left side as she goes down, and that's the side that her team's on. Everybody's up, coach is going crazy. This is so key for a distance swimmer because you know exactly where your team is. And like I said, your stomach is in your throat. And just seeing your teammates and the excitement of the coach, they're pushing you because she's not being pushed by the rest of the field. It's a race of the clock and seeing your teammates getting you going. It just helps you.
Coming towards the tail end of the race for Williams.
And just a great swim for her. I mean, very controlled, took it out there, pressed it, pulled away from the field, and has been so consistent. I mean, when you walk over to your coach as a distance swimmer, there she was, 28.64. Her last 50 was 28.65. So you're on 50 to 50 to 50. And that's exactly how you want to swim this race.
Also important to document in lane number 2, Yara Hirat, who's swimming well, but she's well behind in third right now, with Williams leading, even though you see them close on the lanes, but different laps. It's Liberty Williams, you see her there. I mentioned all that time out of the pool, Brooke. 21 days, according to the coaching staff of Louisville, outside the pool. Still, heck of a worker despite the COVID year last year, and she really has blossomed and is going to be a name that you're going to hear on perhaps the challenge for those distance swims, the Olympics in the future. We'll see for Liberty Williams.
Well, and that was one of the things that I watched a lot through social media and what the college programs were doing, the club programs were doing when pools were closed. You really had to get creative. A lot of swimmers started running a lot more than what they were used to. Your strength and conditioning on dry land became a huge part of the program, more than it probably ever was before. Some swimmers, I know Bobby Fink, who we saw win in Tokyo in 2 events, was coming down to Clearwater and getting in the open water and swimming because pool space was closed down and limited. So everybody had to get creative. We were all just kind of in the same ballpark.
Saw the disparity of laps there. It's still Williams out in front.
And here she'll go on her last 50. That was a 28.6. So again, very consistent. She'll bring the legs into it a little bit more.
Again, time to beat 16:11.88 into this final turn for Williams.
She's having one heck of a swim now, coming up on 15:36.37 as she comes in for the last 5 yards.
Congratulations to Louisville's Liberty Williams. ACC gold in the women's 1650 freestyle.
That's a 10-second drop, 10.5-second drop that she just swam there from her seed time 15:53 down to 15:43. Chase Travis out of lane 6 finishes second right at the 16-minute mark, so a 9-second drop for her.
Donahue also swam well throughout that race too.
Solid swim for her, for UVA, just adding on to that points in that lead that they have.
Again for Louisville, speaks to the storyline, trying to catch Virginia, rack up points on the women's side with NC State and Louisville behind the Cavaliers. You see that emotion for Liberty Williams, all that she had to go through in her freshman year, coming on the campus of Louisville and delivering here for that gold.
And just to mention, we talked about Brooke Travis in the open, swimming in those earlier heats. Her time 16:11.88 places her 4th overall. So a great finish there for her and NC State coming out of the early heats.
Liberty Williams, ACC gold medalist. And you see the Cardinals led by Arthur Albiero, who won on the men's side for the first time. She delivers for the Louisville women.
Okay.
She led from the outset and dominated this 1650 fray. Here's the final results. Travis in second, Donahue is in third, Wyatt falls in fourth for Virginia in that heat. 4 of 4 in the 1650. As Brooke pointed out, crushing her time of 15:53.60 this year for Liberty Williams in that 1650 here on day 5 of the championships. And our gold medalist joins us, and Liberty Williams, congratulations. Liberty,
thank you.
Take us through the race, how you started and you led from the upstart of it, and you finished beautifully.
Thank you. I've been working on being more confident in my start. I used to love to linger and then kind of shoot for it at the end because it's so long. But I've been working with Cameron a lot on just trusting my training and myself and just going for it and feeling it out, and that's what I did. I had to count backwards. I did that, and I sang a song, so it was good.
Can you let us know what song you were singing?
It's called Camilla, I'm at Home by Peach Pit.
I'll have to look that one up. I don't know. But take us through those final 200. You're out there in front. What's going through your mind? I'm sure you can see your teammate and your coach going crazy over there. Can you just take us through what it feels like for you in those final laps of 66?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm counting down. So when it gets to single digits, that is my let's go, you're so close, you've done so much. And then when I turn to the side and breathe to my left and see my teammates and my coaches going crazy, it just pushes me even more. So they make me do everything that I do. I couldn't do it without them.
Well, congratulations. What a strong, confident swim it was tonight.
Thank you.
Liberty Williams setting the tone for the Cardinals and Arthur Albiero on day 5, final action of the competition. There's a look at the ACC team trophies for the men and the women. Who will win them tonight? Well, first we go to the men's 1650 after this. Here are the men's standings of the final day of the championships. NC State way out in front. Louisville trying to catch the Wolfpack. Virginia Tech right now in 3rd. See what North Carolina, Pitt, and Notre Dame can do at the tail end of this. And here comes the parade. The men's 1650 freestyle final heat. Last year, this was won by Notre Dame's Jack Hoagland. Let's go down the lanes. In lane number 1, his teammate and Joshua Brown. He's just a freshman at Notre Dame, USA Swimming Junior National Team member in the past. Over in lane number 2 is James Plage, posted a 14:48.12 in this event. Lane number 3 is Ross Dance. 3rd best time this year as a beat cut. He was a bronze medalist at the NCAAs in this event last year. Lane number 4 is Mert Kilavaz. Kilavaz at his home pool has the best time coming into this event at 14:42.62. That's a beat cut this year. Lane number 5 is the transfer from Indiana, now representing North Carolina State, and Gallant, the 2nd best time this year coming into this one. Lane number 6 is Hayden Curley. He's a senior from Louisville, coming from the Orlando area, finished 28th in this event at the NCAAs a year ago. In lane number 7 is Eric Knowles. We've seen him strong in the relays. Knowles trying to continue that prowess in the distance. He's a 6-time All-American. And finally on the outside for Florida State is David Cueri. He's a sophomore hailing from Ontario, 35th at the NCAAs in the 1650. Let's see the enthusiasm for him, but Brooke, we're going to center on those middle lanes for this one.
We are, and you see Ross Dant there in lane 3. He was the champion earlier this week in the 500, so it'll be very much like Wyatt. Can he hang on for the 1650? But lane 4, a true freshman, a member of the Turkish national team, holds numerous Turkish national team records. He's the top distance guy coming in for the Yellow Jackets. A huge, huge recruit on him, and an opportunity to win their first individual championship here in his home pool. A little bit of a long hold there. Good, but here's the thing. Start isn't that important. As long as it's not a DQ, you're good. He's got time to make it up.
Also want to bookend the women's race. Congratulations again to Liberty Williams winning. Travis finished 2nd for Virginia Tech, capturing ACC silver. Donahoe for Virginia captured 3rd. You were focusing on the splits for Williams, and how can that parallel to the men's side?
Well, looking at her splits and being a little bit of the distance nerd that I am, I just remember going back and going over to my coach, and as he would break each split down, I was always told you want that first 50 and the last 50 to be very close, and then all those 50s in the middle, you want them to be right about the same. So Liberty was out in a 26.1. Her last 50, she came back in a 27.2. Consistently through the entire 1650 was holding 28 mids between 28.4 and 28.7. She threw in 3 29s, a 29.1, a 29.1, and a 29.0. So the consistency speed that she had in that race. As she said, she normally sat back a little bit before she pressed it. Right there on those splits shows that she's been working really hard on that. And then after the awards stand, I watched her and her coach have a few words. She was very emotional. Her team was patiently waiting for her, and then she went over and braced them all. So it's great to see that. You know, we take the commercial breaks on the 1650. The distance swimmers are always kind of the first and last ones at the pool, but the teammates and stuff pulled her through, like she said. That was just a great moment to see here on the pool deck.
It's very early in the 1650 on the men's side. Kilavaz did take the lead over Qari. You mentioned that the freshman from Turkey, Antalya College in Turkey, is where he hails from. And for the Turkish national team, also Batar Unlu. There's many internationals, not just on the Georgia Tech roster, but across this conference and across the nation. It attests to the experience they bring when it comes to Olympic and World Championships and onto the collegiate side.
Right, and we talked earlier in the week about the international field that's here at the ACC Championships. Louisville has 9 countries represented on their men's side. Georgia Tech here with a great freshman recruit right there in the middle of your lane. I like the way NC State's staying up with him right now. As I said, we know that Ross Dan is going to go out quick. He had that 500 win earlier.
What are the challenges going from a short course specialist to a long course, speaking in terms of the international competitions?
Well, for the international swimmers, they're not seeing 25 yards until they get into college. The rest of the world swims in meters, so there is a 25-meter season. You have short course world championships that are swum in 25 meters, but we are the only ones that swim in yards. I'll get to the comparison. If you look in the middle of the pool, and maybe when we go back down, our camera guys can show that. So we have this bulkhead in the middle once the guys come down to the turn end. And that space there in the middle that is empty, if they put those bulkheads together, that would give us the 25-meter mark. But right here, we're set up as 25 yards. So there's that dead space you can see right on the other side of the counters. So not a huge difference per se visually, but getting in the water and swimming it physically, it does make a big difference. It changes your stroke timing into the turns. I struggled as a yard swimmer. I like the 50 meters. The fewer turns, the better for me. I like to get into the pool and just use my stroke in my swimming. So very different as you go from an Olympic year, especially for a lot of these international athletes and these Olympians to then transfer back into yard swimming.
Very important.
Great question.
Distinction, yeah, and well said
Thanks.
by you. And Peter Thompson, important to note, does have the top time going into this final heat, the men's 1650 free, at 15:06.66. Shoyat is in second at 15:14.81. But remember Thompson, 15:06.66 is what one of these swimmers has to accomplish to win gold here at the ACCs in the 1650.
And these three guys, like, very different from the women's race where we saw Liberty really take it out from the start and she pulled away. They look like they're swimming very comfortably. That's the difference between a lot of the women's races and the men's races, the way they just pace themselves.
You mentioned Gant. Last year, bronze medalist at the NCAAs with a 14:31.17. That's a sublime time. He was bested by Robert Fink of Florida. How about a 14:12.52 for Fink in the Gators?
Right, and
I mean, that's insane.
And I mean, you can look here on the heat sheet. He holds that's the American record, NC2A record by Bobby Fink. And he carried that in and swam just outstanding at the Tokyo Olympics. Claim to fame for him is you got finked. Right. We talk about that a lot now amongst the swimmers. He's kind of that famous hashtag. Funny thing about Fink, he's from the Clearwater, St. Pete area where I've lived my entire life. His two sisters, Autumn and Summer, were great collegiate swimmers as well. I remember still swimming, and I would race against his two older sisters. And I remember Bobby Fink on the pool deck down at North Shore Pool in St. Pete. He had to have been 5 years old, running around crazy just because his sisters were swimming. So I was just jumping off my couch over the summer watching him swim and just seeing how his career blossomed and grew.
We were talking before the broadcast, a slew of Olympians are training down in Florida as well, can train all over the United States too. So Gordon,
Yeah, we have Ledecky made the move from California, finishing up at Stanford, and she's now training out at the University of Florida with Caleb Dressel, Anthony Nesty, who he said that with Todd DeSorbo is going to be the head men's and women's coaches for the World Championships this summer. So a lot of talent. I love seeing that out of my home state.
Dant, Kilivaz, and Gallant are in the middle lanes and with the lead. Just keep in mind that they're out in front. You see the lap counters there. They're ahead of the men on the outside lanes in this long 1650 freestyle. Kilivaz at his own pole out in front. See if he can get the first touch here on the turn. It's going to be Dant that takes the lead at 6:35.61.
They're swimming about 26 mids right now. Those splits for them were from 26.5 down to 26.7. So we'll see how those 50 splits stay consistent, and after commercial, if anybody decides to make a move here.
Now you were spot on, Brooke, with the guys to focus on. It's Dant out in front for NC State. We'll continue the 1650 after this. The back end of the men's 1650 freestyle, it's Ross Dant in lane number 3 with the lead, but you see in lanes 4 and 5, and Kilivaz and Gallant not too far behind at 9:15.58 there for Dant. You've been impressed with his swim so far.
I have, and he's actually started to lower his 50 times. He's been real consistent, about 26.7. The other two guys there, Gallant and Kilivaz, dropped down to about a 26.9. Now here in the last couple of 50s, Dant has dropped it, and he's going right here. He's at a 26.5. Gallant 26.6, and Kilivaz is dropping down just a little bit, 26.9 he was there on that 50.
He was the leader out front, although very early in a long race, just short of a mile. Still Dant with the lead, a 4-time All-American. Fastest of his career was at a 14:31.17, a runner-up at the ACCs last year. Jack Hoagland not participating for Notre Dame. But so far, you've liked the splits from what you've seen from Dant.
He's been very, very consistent, very similar to what we were talking about with Liberty. He's been very consistent in the same. And again, that's what you look at as a distance swimmer, is getting out there. You're comfortable, you're on the verge of uncomfortable, and then you're able to just hold it.
Again, for those just joining us, 66 lengths to win. It's a timed event. Okay, the top time is going to win gold. So you see the swimmers there. That's what it's coming down to in lanes 3, 4, and 5. You see the lap counters.
And I think this is going to come down to a nice little battle. On that last 50, Gallant was actually faster than Dant over in lane 5. So the two wolfers there are the sophomore and the junior. This could be a battle between first and second.
So the lap counters there in conjunction with those swimmers and Dant, and also Gallant in lanes 3 and 5. Gallant for NC State, top of your screen right now. Looks like he's going to get to the wall first, 11:29.24. Here comes Gallant for the wall pack.
Made that move, and here's where it's fun. These guys practice together. They're in lanes next to each other. This becomes much of a practice. You know a lot of times where the other one hurts, where the other one's stronger. Can you get inside the head of your teammate? You know, I always said, friends out of the pool, competitors in the pool. So as an athlete, even if it's your teammate, you still want to win. You get out, you know you scored points. Right here, it looks like they're going to be able to secure 1 and 2, which are great points for NC State.
Just important to note, Curley in lane number 6 is behind. So out in front is Gallant along with Dant in spots 1 and 2 respectively. Great shot of the crew. Again, Curley at the top of your screen is behind right now. You'll see the lap counters. Some are counting up towards 66. Some are counting down, depending on what the swimmers are accustomed to. You have to admire this surge here by Gallant throughout this tail of the race.
Yeah, and he's dropped his 50s down to 26 low. His last one was 26.3.
How is he aware of Dant? For those that aren't aware of how you keep track of a guy that's not next to you, that's 2 lanes away?
Well, normally you can see, I would say visually you've got about 2 lanes on either side of you, right? And so that's why to understand your fastest swimmer is in 4, it goes 5, it goes 3, it goes 6, it goes 2. So those middle lanes, you've got about 2 lanes. So Gallant can see 7 and 8, but he's also going to be able to see 4 and 5.
And the time to beat 15:06.66. UVA's Thompson, just a freshman for Todd DeServo's team, but has the lead in this timed event. It would appear that it will be Gallant along with Dant to try to crush that and capture the top 2 spots on the podium. We'll see. It's Gallant with the lead. 31:41.55 for Gallant, closing in on 14 minutes.
Both still swimming consistently at 26s, and it doesn't have to. Gallant didn't go crazy. We didn't see any crazy surge and drop into 25s, but he's just consistently been a 1/10 of a second faster, and that's how he's put together this lead now, looking at about 2 to 3 body lengths on the bell lap, so he's got a 50 to go.
And the bell's there for Gallant. It's looking good so far here, Brooke, at this final turn. And for Gallant, getting set to capture gold for North Carolina State in lane number 5. What a swim and an ACC crown for Gallant. Dant will finish in second for NC State as well. In third is Kilovaz for Georgia Tech in the home poll. But again, the Wolfpack getting points and dominating on the men's side of the championships.
Yeah, great swim there by Gallant. Huge drop.
Test of the depth that Braden Holloway and North Carolina State have, trying to capture yet another crown after losing by 2 to Louisville. 14:33.40 for John Gallant, winning gold at the ACCs.
And Kilovaz hangs on there to third, a good swim just as a freshman, getting some experience. 14:43 is right on his time that he's swum this year already, so a third place for the home team here at Georgia Tech.
Starring for Indiana, coming from a transfer where he was superb at the Big Ten Championships too, and here now dominating at the ACCs. He was 5th overall this event at the Big Tens a year ago. And there you see the final results. Gallant, Dant, Kilovaz. The top 3 will take the podium in this 4th and final heat of the 1650. See NC State, I mentioned that depth. Look, for the top 5 spots in that 1650. Not only do they get it done on these distance races, but you see it in the short relays too.
Right, and that's been really the success of NC State this year, looking at the points and how they really just pulled away early in the meet, and then you put 4 guys in an event like a 1650. Some events we've seen 5 in there. You get the guys in the C and the B final as well.
The NC State men are looking for their 7th title in the last 8 years, an unprecedented 28th overall. John, congratulations. What a race by you. Take us through how you paced the field from the outset here, going against Dant and finally taking it for your Wolfpack.
Yeah, I just tried to stay relaxed, calm the first 1,000, and then try to bring my legs in a bit towards the back 650. So, yeah, I think it worked out pretty well.
John, congratulations on the win. Talk to me about sitting there and seeing Ross over there in the lane next to you. Visually, are you able to see him? And does that feel a lot of like what you guys go through in practice, having 3 of your teammates in this final heat and in the top 8?
Absolutely. Having Ross there is a huge help. You know, we go through a lot together in practice, and yeah, I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to train with every day.
How do you take this swim here in just a short period of time to turn around and come back and improve on the performance that you had here going into the NC2As?
Yeah, I think it's just important to, get back in the pool, Monday morning and start getting that volume back up. So, yeah, I'll be ready to go in 5 weeks or so.
Well, congratulations here tonight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So Galan capturing gold there for NC State and Braden Holloway. Again, looking for the 7th title of the last 8. Winner on the women's side for Arthur Albiero's team was Liberty Williams in the 1650. Following in his footsteps, Galan for the Wolfpack. We segue to the 200 backstroke. Back in Atlanta, getting set for some shorter races now in the C final of the 200-yard backstroke. Chrisman has looked really good throughout the championships for Bob Groth's team for Notre Dame. Also with his C final, Daisy Anderson is starting for Pitt and their head coach John Hargis. And for Duke, Emily Lenahan over in lane number 5 as we begin the women's 200-yard backstroke final day of the ACC championships. Madeline McDonald will be on the inside in lane number 1 for Florida State, 8 lengths to win this C final.
8 will feel like a sprint compared to 66. All right, so we saw the 100 back last night, 200 back tonight, so we focused third 25 in the 100s. We're going to focus third 50 here in the 200s. We talked about flip turns, good underwaters.
All previewing for the championship, where Emma Muzzy is looking to be a 4-time winner in this event. You'll see her in a couple more rounds. This is the C final right now.
So let's point out in backstroke, your visual, not much. You're really looking up the top of the ceiling. Key in backstroke is stay in the center of the lane. Don't get on the lane ropes. You want to swim right on that black line. So a lot of times in an indoor pool, if there's something that you can focus on and guide yourself through, put your visual up there. Good, steady head position, right? So the hips and the shoulders are going to rotate, but the head is going to stay still. I always do with my little summer league kids. We put little cups with a little bit of water on their forehead and make them balance that cup on their head. I'm sure these girls could tell stories about that when they were younger, swimming as an age grouper. But that gets the shoulders and the hips moving together and keeping that head nice and steady.
Let's see if Mary can get it done. She has the lead from Florida State. Daisy Anderson not too far behind. In addition to them, Chrisman over in lane number 2 for Notre Dame. Closing it at 1:45 in this race. Look at Chrisman go in lane number 2 for the Irish. Trying to capture this C final.
And the difference for her was really pressing that third 50. Where the rest of the field started to feel the fatigue, she was able to push through it.
Strong end for Madeline Chrisman. Also starts on the relays for Bob Groth's team. Much needed points. Again, all these points accumulating towards those total scores. And Notre Dame getting it done in that C final.
Yeah, about a 2.5-second drop from what she swam this morning. Great swim tonight.
Yeah. I would have to think perhaps there could be a negative split there for Chrisman. It allows her to get in first, to get ahead of Murray. Daisy Anderson, also a reputable swim. She finishes in 3rd in the C final. I'll remind you where the women's standings are right now. You see that close gap between Virginia and NC State. Keep in mind that Virginia is trying to three-peat on the women's side. Louisville hanging around in 3rd, but coming down to the Cavaliers and Wolfpack. As we're ready for the final here, Patterson is also strong for UNC, following in the footsteps of County for that program for Coach Gangloff's team, Lee. Also a dominant swimmer for Dan Colella's team over in lane number 4. We've seen what Carolyn Bentz has accomplished at the championships as an underclassman in lane number 6 for the Hokies.
Yeah, so let's look at that. We just saw at the standings, right? So depth is going to be key. UVA has a swimmer in lane 1. NC State has a swimmer in lane 3. So the best they can do is 9th. But if one of those, one or the other, gets 9th, that's key points. 20 points, right?
You're spot on. So
Yeah.
20 points compared to whoever wins the championship round, which would be 32
Right.
as you work your way down.
But-
But again, very important towards that total score.
Take your mark.
And trust me, the coaches have this in their mind. When you look at the women's score, 25 points separates them. Both coaches, I'm sure, know how many swimmers they have swimming tonight, where they need to go, what does NC State need to do to overtake UVA, especially when we get into that last relay tonight, making sure that there are no early leadoffs for that relay, because that would be very detrimental if this gets closer than 25 points.
So what happened to the detriment of North Carolina State last year,
For the
which will
men's
have
side.
Louisville, on the men's side to take that title. So the Virginia women are looking for their conference-leading 18th ACC title. And again, searching for that three-peat, #1 in the latest poll, and defending NCAA champion, the first NCAA champion coming from the ACC in this sport, by the way. Betts has looked really good on the outside. She's over in lane #6 for Virginia Tech. She's just a sophomore on the Hokies canvas. Good turn by her. Too far behind Lee of Duke over in lane #4. There's Betts from the outset with the advantage. Lee coming on strong over in lane #4 as well.
See how they press this third 50. Excuse me, this is our last 50. Excuse me, I'm one behind. So that was our third 50. And we see that push now in the middle of the pool by Lee from Duke.
Some much needed points for Dan Kalala's unit. There's that final turn. It's going to come down to Betts and Lee in lane 6 and 4. Look at Lee has a little bit of a surge here towards those final 12 yards. Can Lee do it in lane #4? Or will it be Betts at 6? Here's the touch, waiting for the official time. Betts! Virginia Tech! Hokies get it done in the B final. 154-28 for Caroline Betts.
That was a 2.5 drop for her from this morning.
We saw that happen yesterday with Henson and Walsh getting that final stretch. And in the end here is Virginia Tech who gets it done. You know, is that something on that final stretch towards the touchpad that the coaches focus on when it comes to practicing?
It is. Never coast into your finishes at practice. You got to
Yes, sir.
finish everything at practice like you would at a meet.
154-28 to 154-35 between Betts and Lee. And from the ready room comes the march in for this championship of the women's 200 backstroke. Can history be made yet again on the final day of the championships? Ella Bathurst is over in lane #1 for UVA, a 6-time Florida State medalist. In lane #2 is Rye Ulett, part of the Ulett sisters. She's going to have a promising career for Louisville. Her older sister Tristan also on the Cardinals. Lane #3, can Emma Muzzy look for her 4th in a row in the 200 back? We'll see 7th at the NCAAs last year. She'll go toe-to-toe with Riley Tiltman, the freshman from Brookfield, Wisconsin. Comes in with the best time at 151.04 this season. And #5 is an Olympic trialist in the 200 back, and Emma Atkinson, a sophomore from Virginia Tech, looking for a strong swim to upset Muzzy and Tiltman. Over in lane #6 is Kate Moore, grad student from Cary, North Carolina. She's an 8-time All-American. Continuing on the outside in lane #7, Sophie Lindner for UNC. She's been really big in the program at the 200 back, setting records for the Tar Heels last year. Finally on the outside is Paige Hetrick, a sophomore for Louisville, qualified for the NCAAs as a freshman in this event. And perhaps it will come down for Muzzy looking for a 4th in a row at the ACCs against Tiltman.
right in the storyline right. So Riley Tiltman is going to try to come in and upset and keep Muzzy from being the 4-time champion. Remember, Tillman, the freshman, holds those state records in the 100 fly and the 100 back at the high school level, coming in now as a freshman.
Take your mark.
Both NC State and UVA have 2 swimmers in this heat, so they, I think it's going to be one of those things that we focus on as we go through with this team title being so close.
And that's Virginia and North Carolina State. So who wants to take it here at the ACC Championships in Atlanta? First turn belongs to Muzzy, looking for the 4-peat. We saw a lot of history yesterday, in particular for those that weren't aware of Louisville. Now Biero and Somop, 5 in a row, obviously coming back for the 5th year for them. And congratulations also to Hansen and Burkhoff getting 4 and 3 in a row as well at the ACCs. Can Muzzy follow in their footsteps?
She's taking it out fast. She won this event 3 years in a row.
Like her split there, Brooke.
She was 9th in the 100 back, while Tillman finished 3rd.
Tillman right now looks like she's in 3rd here. Muzzy still with the lead. Look at the support here at the McAuley Aquatic Center.
Starting to come up now. Here we go. So 3rd 50 right there.
Muzzy, Tiltman, Atkinson. Atkinson just got there for Virginia Tech. Keep an eye out for her in lane number 5. Muzzy again looking for 4 in a row over in lane number 3 on that final turn.
And as they flip, that's really your only time to have a visual. Look at Tiltman with the underwater.
That was long by
Muzzy is
her.
not giving up on this. This is going to come down to that finish, the kick, and the dive back.
Let's see the final touch, and it's Tiltman that's there, pulling off the upset over Muzzy. Tillman delivering and gets the gold in the 200 back at the ACCs. What a finish.
All right, here we go into the last turn. Really, this is a 3-person race. They get to see each other on the turn. Other than that, you really don't have a visual of your competitors on either side of you. But Tiltman, the difference was they're up swimming. She gives about 2 or 3 extra dolphin kicks, and that put her ahead in timing into the backstroke. Let's look at this, how they come underneath the flags, kicking, timing that last stroke as she just thrusts the hips and throws the hand back, nailing that wall for the title here tonight.
Look how close this came for Tiltman.
That's
Muzzy
the tempo
and
of the
Atkinson.
arms and how that lays out. That was a patient swim by her as just a freshman.
Tiltman just outstretches Muzzy, who was looking for the 4-peat. That last 50, remember, was led by Atkinson. She'll finish in 3rd. You mentioned those much-needed points. Tiltman will get them at the top over Muzzy
And look, they're
for
at
Virginia.
7th and 8th. So you've got 1st and 7th for UVA, with NC State finishing in 2nd and 8th. So those are the points that these coaches are paying attention to.
Riley, congratulations. What was it like on that final stretch in that last 25 for you against Emma?
I mean, I just gave it everything I had left. I tried to push my underwater as far as I can, and I was doing it for my team because I love my team.
Riley, as a freshman coming in here and the success that you had as a high school athlete, just what is the difference for you, like you said, having the team and coming into this 5th night where you guys are tired, possibly sore, but you continue to put impressive times up and wins for the entire team?
It's awesome having my team around me, and they're always supporting me, and they always want the best for me, and I couldn't ask for anything more than that, so it's awesome.
Congratulations on a great swim tonight.
Thank you.
Riley Tiltman, and for the Who's, get it done in the 200 back. They're loving it here in Virginia. Big 32 points for the team. Muzzy will get 28 for NC State. We go from the women to the men in the 200 back next. situated in Atlanta. Here's a look at the men's standings. NC State well out on top, looking for yet another title. Louisville's in second. Virginia Tech hanging around in third. We go from the women to the men in the 200-yard backstroke, beginning with the C final. Burhan's really key on those relays for UNC. They have 2 swimmers. Lanovich is in lane number 2 as well. Also Mays, Van Dusen on the outside. You get 4 in total for the Tar Heels. Weber for Louisville's in lane 5.
Take your mark.
All right, good tempo here. You know, again, 200, 8 laps of the pool. You can see the difference too. The guys' tempo is a little bit faster. Stroke looks just the strength-wise that they have in the water, how they push through water versus the girls' tempo is a little bit slower and a little bit smoother. That's just the difference in power between the women and men.
So Bionidas has the lead for Louisville out in front. Good first split by him. He's over in lane number 3 for Arthur Albiero's team. He's a 5th year. Came in with a beat time at the prelims at 1:43.56, trying to best that here in this C final.
And Louisville really gained on this. The fact that NC2As did give those seniors that missed out on that year of COVID, the 5th year, I think a great decision made, extending their careers. And a lot of them, this will be it. When I talked to Albiero the other day, the head coach there at Louisville, I did ask kind of what their plan was. Some of them have talked and have opportunities to go into the ISL League, which is the competitive professional league that travels around the world and competes. It's teams that are put together. You have kind of a manager and a team, and they're put together from swimmers all over the world. So you could have a Canadian and a Italian on your team, an American on your team, but it really brings the world of swimming all together to where normally we're competing against countries. Now it's just like a team, and you have multiple countries on each team.
Can Van Dusen get here before Sofianides on the outside in lane number 7 for UNC? Just a freshman, and he does it at 1:43.21 for the Tar Heels. Congratulations to Matt. Remember that swim to start his career and getting much needed points. North Carolina trying to climb the standings on this men's side.
You know, I've seen over the week just, go ahead.
Yeah, so Van Dusen finishes in first. Sofianides very close. Keppen is in third for Virginia Tech.
Just, you know, like I said, through the week, I've just seen a lot of that freshman class. We've talked about the underclassmen, but the freshmen coming up here and winning in the B and C finals, also getting in freshmen into the A finals. Just tremendous depth, and we've talked about the growth of the ACC conference over the last few years.
Brooke, I want to segue into Mitchell White. Could be a little disappointing for him. Last year he won the ACCs with a time of 1:39.98. What's the mindset for him now in a B final, not into the championship?
Probably not happy with his swim, certainly as a senior, knowing that this is your last chance to end up there in lane 2. I would expect to see him come off here in this first 100 and blast something out pretty impressive.
Forrest Webb really looking good at the championships in lane number 3 as well for the Hokies. Mikey Moore for NC State in lane number 4, the final.
White there really high up, you see is get himself completely up out of the water. Goes up really high with a really nice high arch and has that control. He doesn't go too deep off the start. A lot of power there by him.
Again, he's been on championship relay teams for Arthur Albiero's team, really key on those opening legs for the Cardinals. Fantastic split by him at 23:14 to have the lead in the B final.
You know, and sometimes you can have a great meet and it seems that all of your swims have just really been great performances, and then almost without even an explanation, you throw in just that one dud. I like the fact that it's not the beginning of the meet because sometimes that's hard to come back from. We're here on the last night, but I'm sure a just disappointing swim for him this morning.
Still has the lead. Closing in Garcia, the freshman from Virginia Tech in lane number 1. Forrest Webb in lane number 3, also for the Hokies. A great swim over in lane number 1 by Garcia, the freshman. Here we see another freshman, perhaps star here in this B final of the 200 back. Turn. Look at lane number 3, though. It's Garcia has the lead over Webb in lane 3. Garcia's in lane number 1. Last 50 here of this B final. Rutberg also closing in for UNC in lane number 5. On this turn for home, can Garcia cash in lane number 1 for Virginia Tech over White? Garcia, it's going to be close in lane number 1 at 1:41 flat. For the Hokies.
Outside smoke.
Wow. Upsetting White there, and the surge by Rutberg in lane number 5.
2 seconds faster from his morning swim, and then again, freshman winning out of C final, freshman winning out of the B final. We've got 3 freshmen coming up in the A final. Can they keep that going?
It is Garcia, Webb, and Rutberg, 1 through 3 in the B final. Look at White finishing all the way in 5th. Not going to be happy with that last split of 1:42.52. And out from the ready room, here's the march in for the 200 backstroke championship. Run down the lanes for you. In lane number 1 is going to be Berke Saka, freshman for Georgia Tech, also represents Turkey at the European Junior Championship, starring for Turkey on the international stage. Lane number 2, we saw what he accomplished in the 100 back. Kacper Stakowski trying to do it in the 100, and now into the 200. Hunter Tapp as well has been really strong with the relay teams for NC State, even another sublime performance for the Wolfpack in lane number 3. Lane number 4 is a 5-time champion, Nicholas Albiero. 5 straight in the 200 flies, trying to do that here in the 200 back tonight. Lane number 5, Virginia Tech Sam Torkvis, is the best time coming into this event at 1:40.66. Lane number 6 is Jack Aikens. Been really strong for Todd DeSerbo's team. Just a freshman, hailing from this area, from Atlanta, 12-time All-American in his career. Lane number 7, Arvivos Pavlidis. He's a freshman for Florida State, a 3-time Lithuanian national champion. The outside in lane number 8, Justin Grender. He's a senior and a captain for Virginia. That 1:41.43 time prelims, getting to this championship, an All-American in the 200 back last year. We'll focus on Albiero. Can he challenge and get another title here at the ACC?
Well, we saw his composure last night in the 200 fly. I would expect to see the same thing out of him, how he controls that race, is smart about it, respects the field, knows the talent that's in there, but stays focused on the job that he has to do here tonight. But don't count out Tapp. We've seen great speed from him. He was second in the 200 free. They're in lane 2 also for them. We saw Stakowski win the 100 backstroke last night. He was 4th in this event last year, too.
Take your mark.
Stakowski is known for those long underwaters. And here he's in lane number 2. Again, he was the champion in the 100 back, and he replicated that performance in the 200 back.
And it's challenging to do those long underwaters for a 200. So let's see how he holds it together. But he is out fast in the first 50. Not surprising with that 100 speed.
22.97 there for Stakowski. You mentioned Albiero. He's over in lane number 4. How versatile he is for his dad, Coach Arthur Albiero, not just in the fly, but also in the back events.
Right, he needs to focus on his race, you know, controlled in the first 100. We know he can put it together in the second 100 as he did last night in the 200 fly.
But Aikens here, Brooke, 47.86. He takes the lead, the freshman for UVA.
Well, maybe you heard us talking about the freshman trying to sweep each final here in the men's 200 back.
Strong surge here for Marquez Saka, the freshman for Georgia Tech. You're seeing a slew of underclassmen. Keep an eye on 6. Top of your screen, Akins at this turn for the final 50 at 1:13.14 in the championship.
Javier sitting at 3rd, so he really has to make his move.
See when he closes along with Torkvist, comes in with the best time at 1:40.66 this year. Akins has the lead. Can Albiero get there in lane number 4? Torkvist in lane number 5. Atkins, can he close here? Keep an eye on lane number 5 there for Torkvist for Virginia Tech. He wins it for the Hokies. Virginia Tech came in 3rd in the standings. They get a goal at 1:39.20 here for Virginia Tech and Torkvist.
The 5th-year senior gets it done. Third in this event last year for him. This was a great finish. You had Atkins there leading going into that last turn. Didn't talk a lot about Samuel over there in lane 5 until the last 10 yards, but that's where it matters the most, getting into the wall. Right here, look at the guys. Again, we saw this in the women's race too. The arms just going crazy, and by a half a stroke, hand on the wall first.
It's going to go Torkvist, Akins, and then Hunter Tapp. That last surge of that final 25. And a celebration here for the Hokies. Much needed points, get big 32 towards that total score for Sojo Miro's team and Virginia Tech. His team knows it. And you mentioned, for these student athletes coming back for their 5th year, it means the world to them. Yes, it's an individual event, it means so much to the team. And you love that camaraderie of all these student athletes here at the championships. I'll tell you, the freshman Akins also swam really well. He had the lead towards that tail end in the final 25. He falls into silver. Hunter Tapp gets the bronze in the 200 backstroke. Our gold medalist is with us. Sam, congratulations there. Outstretching Jack there for the gold. Take us through that last 25. What was the difference in your eyes to capture first?
Coming into this meet, I've been feeling extremely confident, especially in the 200 backstroke. I've been feeling like I've gotten the speed from the 100, because like last year, for example, I went 47 to the 100, and this year it was 45.5, so I felt easy going out and just knew I could bring it home, and I fit that at 150.
Samuel, you guys have had the opportunity, you talked about some of the 5th years last night. How have you just enjoyed being a part of the team and having this opportunity to get one more year of your collegiate swimming?
Oh, it meant the world to me that Sergio wanted to give me that option. And I don't regret it for 1 second. I love this family, and I'm so happy I stayed for a 5th. If I could stay for more, I would.
Well, congratulations. That was a heck of a performance tonight.
Thank you.
Sam Torkvist of Virginia Tech coming on strong, not just in the relays, there at 200 back. He's feeling it in the middle of the pool. And on the other side, we go for the jubilation of Virginia Tech over to the women's 100 freestyle. Coming up. Just 19 points separate Virginia looking for the three-peat against NC State, who won a couple years ago on the women's side. They've gotten it done on the men's side in recent years, trying to pull off the upset against the #1 team in the country. We begin with the C final on the 100-yard freestyle for the women.
Well, it was 25 points last time we looked at that standing. And you said 19 points now, so.
For the C final, San Nicolas Martinez over in lane #1. You see the depth across the conference now over in lanes 5 and 8. The sisters are going to try to star here for Coach Gangloff's team for North Carolina in the C final. We're shortening the races now 4 lengths to win the C final here in the 100 free.
Yeah, I would really think as far as one of my favorite races. I do love the long ones, but the 100 free, I enjoy watching. Just still got to have that pure out speed, but a little bit more in the tank than what you see in the 50.
We have 4 freshmen in this C final, including Zito over in lane number 2 for Florida State. Pull up your screen. Keep an eye on Madison Knowles as well. She's a senior from Pitt for Coach Hargis' team, the Olympian. Was trying to get there before lane number 4, Morris can. Morris with that touch, including in lane number 3, Elena Kraus. Kraus get there, capture the C final. And for Louisville, looks like she's going to take it, the senior, to start the 100 free. Strong ending there for Elena Kraus.
Thank you, ladies.
Every race, get in there, give us the final day. Most of these men and women have had full schedules, racing every day, some prelims and finals. It's important when we walk out at the end of the night, the tables in the hallway lined up with the massage therapist, keeping these athletes fresh. So much goes into this, their nutrition. You go to the team areas and they have bins of snacks. A lot goes in to being able to swim 5 days.
Going to the B final. Look at these star-studded swimmers. Moynihan in first in that first lane. Shackelford in lane number 3. How about Alexa Cuomo, what she provides on the relays for Virginia Todd DeSerbo's team. And the same can be said for Whitting and Lowe in lane 7 and 8.
Right.
On the outside.
And talking about how many girls in here for UVA and NC State, you're going to see 4 of them, respectively, for each team at the end of the night in that 400 free relay.
Take your bar.
You know, that's probably the biggest difference for these athletes. We've talked about it being combined men and women for the first time ever. Normally this meet 3 days, now it's 5. So just being able to stay fresh could play into a lot of the races that we've seen, that swing of some of the athletes on being able to stay fresh and put 5 days of great performances in.
Landon has the lead for Virginia Tech. To this last turn here in the 100 free B final. Webb closing in. She delivered lane number 4, a long underwater there for Landon in lane number 6. It's going to be close in the middle lanes, and lane number 4, can Webb get there for NC State? Virginia Tech Shackelford as well, and Shackelford is going to get the B final. Just ahead of Webb and Cuomo in that middle lanes, and another close race here in the 100 free. We've had a slew of them tonight, Brooke.
Been very, I love the freshman stories, the underclassmen, but Virginia Tech, you know, I know we talk a lot of UVA, we talk a lot of NC State, but what Virginia Tech is doing here this week.
Now, Brooke, here comes the march in for the championship, the 100 freestyle. Last year won by Virginia's Kate Douglas at 46.83. But first, in lane number 1, Reg and Hour need a strong race out of the inside 36 at the NCAAs last year in the event. Coming over to lane number 2, the senior, Grace County. Strong to the relays, an All-American in the 50 free and 100 back last year. So Burkhoff had history last year, a 3-time NCAA champ and a native of Montana. Lane number 4, we mentioned the Olympian and Kate Douglas, and trying to defend her title, she was NCAA silver medalist in the event last year. Star-studded talent, lane number 5 for the freshman and Gretchen Walsh, U.S. Olympic trials and 8-time individual Tennessee champion. Lane number 6, Albiero, really strong. It's the coach's daughter for this Cardinals team. She and Liberty Williams have proved themselves as key swimmers. Bencheva is her teammate over in lane number 7 for Louisville as well, provides that veteran presence. And then lane number 8, Abigail Crush, one of the star-studded recruits, the top recruits in her class, was at the Olympic trials in the 100 back, swimming in the 100 free. We'll center in lanes 3, 4, and 5 in this fight.
That's right. Burkhoff, NC State, UVA pair Douglas and Walsh. Gretchen Walsh committed to UVA as a junior in January of 2020. So I know when I was covering in 2020, just before everything went crazy, she had already committed. The Walsh sisters wanted to be here together. This is huge for UVA to go 1-2 in this event. Everything needs to be perfect in an event like this. With this field, those three ladies in the middle of the pool, the perfection of this race is who gets their hand on the wall first.
Douglas comes in with the best time this year. It's a beat cut of 47.46.
Burkhoff is going to try to get in there. Remember, we're talking points, 19 points, separate these two teams.
50 here, Douglas with the lead. She'll like her split. Side by side with her is Gretchen Walsh over in lane number 5. You mentioned Burkhoff's going to come down to that trio, Brooke.
It is, and this is the tempo, the stroke. I like where Burkhoff looks right now.
Burkhoff ahead of Douglas. Here's the touch. Douglas with the stretch. Defends her title here at the ACCs. The Olympian does it in back-to-back years at 46.81.
And it's kind of that sigh of relief, yes. A little bit of the pressure off, knowing the points. Burkhoff swam a great swim air. But you know, something that I've always been impressed with Douglas, she never looks flustered. It's always so calm. She knows how to get her hand on the wall, get that arm around, and that reach. We've seen her, that's what it comes down to in these short events. The finish, we talked about that. How important is the finish to practice it every day in workout?
Okay, that has been the theme tonight.
It
with
is.
Those stretches, the finishes towards the touch pad.
Yeah.
For those that aren't aware, when is that moment for the swimmers? It could be different across the board when to reach and try to get gold.
It's the timing, it's the tempo of the stroke. I love it with the ladies. You know, we have the trend, I did it too when I was swimming competitively, kept those nails a little bit longer. That makes a difference. But you cannot finesse into a finish. You have to nail it.
Douglas, Walsh, and Burkhoff, 1 through 3. Kate, congratulations on defending your title there. What did you think on that last stretch towards the touch pad? Did you think you had it?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it was a super close race at the turn, so I just kind of put my head down and tried to finish as hard as I could.
What do you think about in practice? Every time I watch you swim, you always look so calm and collective, and these are races that literally come down to your fingernails.
Yeah, I think it's really helped me to think about just having a lot of confidence going into the race, so that like on the last turn I can kind of just put my head down and finish with confidence.
Well, congratulations on defending the title here at the ACC Championships.
Thank you.
Douglas and Virginia inching closer to the ACC Championship on this day 5. That's the hardware they're eyeing. On the other side, men's 100 freestyle. Here's the men's standings. It's all North Carolina State. Louisville trying to hang in there. Virginia Tech putting up some strong swims on both the women's and men's side tonight. Into the C final, the men's 100 freestyle. We're on day 5 of the ACC Championships with 3-time Olympic gold medalist Brooke Bennett. Dave led our entire crew a look at the lane assignments. Robert's going to try to have a strong swim over in lane number 5. The same with August Lamb for Virginia. Tar Unglu, international swimmers on the outside in his home pool in lane number 8.
Take your mark.
Powerful kicks here by the men. I'm always like visually just watching how their upper body, you see that little dip, the hips riding high, and then just being able to get the legs going, the tempo going. That's so much power, so much speed through the water.
I mentioned Casey Wilburn off the top for Notre Dame. Can he hang on though? That's the question in this final turn.
A lot more breathing goes in, a lot in the 50, maybe one breath. A lot of the swimmers don't breathe at all, but you'll see here in the 100, breathing almost every 2, but so you just can't even see it.
Lane number 4, Dominguez Cologne, though, coming on strong there towards the end for Virginia Tech.
Another freshman getting the job done.
Leads this time for the prelims and takes the C final. I mentioned the Hokies. Here they come. They've been hanging around third, both the men's and the women's side. Well done for Sergio Miro's team. There's those standings. Look at Virginia Tech, 1 and 2. Moya Yanez as well.
Both freshmen there.
Wilburn fell into 6 despite that strong start. Got some top swimmers here in the B final. Arabe is key on those relay teams. We know what David Curtis could do with the 50 free. Can he repeat in the 100 free?
Yeah, and I like what I see of him in the 50. I think coming in here to North Carolina, he can get a little bit more experience, build on some of that young strength that he has as just a freshman, and I expect to see him moving up into the A finals going into his years after this.
There's Curtis from Yardley, Pennsylvania, a freshman, 1 gold in the 50 free, composing himself and trying to win another gold here at the ACCs.
Take your mark.
If I was critical on him, I think his starts can get better. And I think those are things that you will start to see out of David Curtis as he comes into college and just is able to just have those coaches and that more of the eye to just improve his swimming. Just so much raw talent, how he just has to fine-tune everything.
Curtis winning gold in that 50 free, trying to get first here in the B final. Rack points for North Carolina State. His final turn. Look out in lane number 1, El Arabi for Louisville. On the outside, McCusker trying to get there first in lane number 7. There's the touch. It's going to be El Arabi for Louisville. And the Cardinals getting some points in that B final, 42-42. Abdelrahman El Arabi there for the Cardinals and Arthur Albiero's team. Goes McCusker, Giuliano there for Florida State, Notre Dame in 2 and 3 respectively. Jossie falls in 4th for the Seminoles. But the men are going to be ready for this one. And emerging from the ready room, here they come for the championship for the men's 100 freestyle. In lane number 1, Bartosz Pizarowicz, a junior from Poland, didn't compete with the team. He's a transfer, started his career for Louisville, looking to shine tonight for the Wolfpack. Lane number 2, Lucas Miller. We saw what he's done in other events. He's only a sophomore. He's a 2-time All-American and a champ in his own right. Lane number 3, the transfer from Alabama, and Matt King. Remember, the SECs won this 100 free, looking to do the same here at the ACCs. Lane number 4, the Olympian with Egypt, Youssef Ramadan, got it done with an ACC gold 100 fly. Can he mirror that performance here in the freestyle? Lane number 5 is Niels Kastarje, a junior for North Carolina State, represents the Netherlands, the World and European Championships. Lane number 6 is Matt Brownstein. Can he defend his title? Looking to accomplish that again here at the ACCs. Sartori is over in lane number 7 for Louisville, a bronze with Brazil at the World Championships. Rounding out the lane number Simons, it's Connor Boyle over in lane number 8. He's a freshman on the campus of Virginia, the trials qualifier in the 50 and 100 free. Youssef Ramadan, can he get it done, Brooke?
The Egyptian Olympian finished 16th at these past Olympic Games. He was 3rd in the 50 earlier. We had that great interview by him after the 100 fly.
Ton of emotion by him.
It is. But Luke Miller there in 2, Matt King in 3. A stacked field. Brownstead up there in 6.
Brownstead again won this one last year at 41-87 to capture ACC gold.
Take your mark.
These starts are so key. That was a great start by the starter. Bring them down, don't hold them too long and let them go. But they're looking up there to make sure none of these guys flinch or move. You want a fair start across the pool.
1969, look at that split
Down
for
in lane
Boyle on the
8,
outside. Yep.
19-6 there for UVA in lane 8.
Short underwater from the start off the blocks, Brooke. Look at that turn on the outside. Keep an eye as well on lane number 3 for Matt King. Remember, he won the FCCs. Lane number 4, there's the man you focus on. Ramadan. It's going to come down to those two. And the touch in the middle lanes. Ramadan takes it. Virginia Tech continues their surge here at the ACCs. Ramadan gets another ACC gold.
Great swim by Yusuf Ramadan there. He was behind really the whole way. We didn't see him come up until that last 25, but again, at the finish, the timing, and he had that nice reach out and roll into the wall. Again, you can't finesse the touch pads.
At a time of 41-76 to capture another gold just over King and Boyle. And Boyle had a fantastic start for Virginia. Had the lead off the blocks and into that first turn. Branstad, the defending champ, contested the depth 2, 3, and 4.
Look at your score or your results. 2, 3, and 4 UVA. We saw the 200 freestyle relay earlier where they followed the women and broke the American record. Not in the standings for the top. We know NC State's got this one in the bag, but I'm excited to watch that relay at the end of the night by UVA.
The Olympian from Egypt getting it done yet again here in the 100 free. He's also third in the 50 free as well. Gold medalist is now joining us, and Yusuf, take us through that last 25 and how in the end you got it before Matt King there on the touchpad.
That hurts so much, for real. Like, it was a hard 100, and he was so super fast. And on the last turn, I said to myself, like, I have to do like at least 8 kicks, and I did 10, so that was awesome.
Yusuf, Dave and I were sitting up here and talking, and we recall your interview from the 100 fly. So I'm going to give you the award of your best interview here at the ACCs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell me about the training that you've gone through over this last year, coming off the Olympic Games, just your performances now to be a 2-time ACC champion here this week. What has your training been like for this improvement this year at just a sophomore?
I mean, I've trained like so hard on the small skills to help me be super good, but like I can't improve by myself. I have a team here that's amazing, and the staff is truly like, they are so helpful to me, and I'm not easy, you know. I'm a weird dude sometimes. They help me so much, and I can't thank them enough.
Congratulations, and attention to detail from saying 8 kicks to 10 kicks. You are focusing on the little things. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yusuf Ramadan, another gold medalist. See that emotion there for the Hokies. They're getting it done on the women's and men's side. A lot to celebrate tonight for Yusuf Ramadan and Virginia Tech. Women's 200 breaststroke on the horizon. Oh, it's getting interesting on the women's side. A 33-point lead for defending national champions Virginia over North Carolina State. Louisville and North Carolina hanging on as well. We begin the C final, the women's 200-yard breaststroke. Butterfield has been a dominant swimmer, just a sophomore for Coach Shealy's team for Georgia Tech. She's over in lane number 3 in her home pool. Madeline Smith is in lane number 6 for NC State.
Take your mark.
All right, this is the final individual race, 200 breaststroke. Now, I will say, we talked about in breaststroke, just the different stroke styles that you'll see. Some of the athletes staying lower down into the water, some of them looking like they're coming up a little bit higher and driving forward. From the 100 breaststroke to the 200 breaststroke, this is where it just gets long. I think in all the events, this is probably where you see a swimmer change their stroke the most, where they're a little bit longer and they'll stretch that glide out just a little bit more in the 200 breaststroke than what we would typically see in the 100.
Ju is out in front over in lane number 4 of this C final. 8 lengths to win the C final here. That's the breathing technique, as Vic was describing. Barrington not too far behind for Louisville. It's still Ju out in front.
So again, we're in that 200, so this is our third 50. This is the point right here. Do not back off. You have to press a little bit harder where you're really focusing on the technique of your stroke, the power of your stroke. As you start to tire, fatigue, you feel slipping through the water, so you have to dig, press, squeeze a little bit more. Breaststroke, very technical. Me swimming breaststroke, my 7-year-old son looks better than I do. Crazy enough, like his breaststroke, I'm not kidding, like genetically I'm going, how can you do that? Teach me.
Why do you feel like it is difficult for those that maybe specialize in freestyle going into breaststroke?
I think breaststroke is one of those strokes where genetically you're kind of gifted or you're formed into it. You said you could always tell a breaststroker standing on the pool deck because they stand with their feet slightly out like a duck. Love breaststrokers. Love breaststrokers.
Lane number 5, final touch. Good breathing there by Farrington for Louisville in lane number 5. Outstretching Eleanor Ju there. It's going to be Farrington at 2:12.63 to take that the final.
One of my dearest friends, Olympian Christy Kowal from swam at Georgia, was a breaststroker. So love my breaststrokers. It's a tough one for me.
Well, Farrington, Ju, Sabin will get 1 through 3. Good to see Georgia Tech home pool with Butterfield as well, getting 4th for the Yellow Jackets. All right, getting set for our B final, the 200-yard breaststroke. Lillian Higgs is out in lane number 3 for UNC. That's Tashkina. There's a veteran there for Louisville. She's out in lane number 5. Sarah Bender's on the outside, the lone swimmer for Notre Dame the rest of the way in this 200-yard breaststroke. Tar Heels, 3 Cardinals.
Yeah. See the athletes smack their hands, smack the legs. You'll see the guys, a lot of times red chest, getting themselves pumped up, that blood flowing, get those nerves active and alive.
Take your mark.
I think Lily King is one of the famous smack the leg on the side. She says that she does it just to distract the swimmers. So it's just kind of that mind.
Little gamesmanship.
Little games, you know. We know Lily King is, very, very competitive, very outspoken. I remember watching them talk about that leg smack, very famous by her as she gets up to swim her 100 breaststrokes.
29-31, it's Rudolph for USC with the lead over in lane number 6. Keep an eye on Friesen in lane number 4 as well for Louisville. She's a 5th year. Trying to take that lead on your screen there. Side by side with her though is Adashkina there as well.
And you can see there both those girls in the middle of the pool taking their stroke nice and long, where you They almost glide completely out. Paps going underwater right there in lane 5.
Tashkina there at 102.05 for Louisville with the lead here in the B final.
Now we're gonna press that third 50, so get that tempo going. You set it up nice in the first 100, now it's time to press it. Breaststrokers very big on counting their strokes. Easy way to know just that you're not slipping through the water, as I mentioned, being very consistent from 25 to 25, taking the same number of strokes.
It was interesting in our interview with Ramadan, right? Different event, but counting there.
This kicks underwater, yeah. I like hearing that, and that is the, when you go from going 4th last year in that event to winning it this year, the difference in knowing your kicks. He wanted to do 8, but he got 10 in. Those are the things that count.
So about 2 ACC golds for him at the championships. Tashkina trying to hold on to this lead here in the B final.
And as a senior wrapping up her collegiate here with this race, this finish in the B final to finish 9th.
Tashkina is going to get there. Freezing, lane number 4, but it's all Louisville in 1 and 2 here in the B final.
Big drop by her. About a second and a half, swam 2:10 this morning to go 2:08.74. She made that look so pretty.
Cardinals, then the Tar Heels, 1 through 4 in that B final. The last individual event on the women's side, the 200 breaststroke, and getting set for the championship. The teams are going to be rallying around their student athletes coming out from the ready room. And on that note, here they come for the women's 200 breaststroke championship. Someone good to look up to, Lily King, right? 202.60. Let's go down the lane here. Sarah Foley for Duke, a Philly native at a Penn charter, looking for a strong race. Has a beat cut already in this event. Monkova is a senior for North Carolina State, has been with the Olympics as well for Slovakia. Number 3 is Sophie Hansen, trying to defend her title. Hansen has dominated here in this event, looking for a 4th straight, the 200 breaststroke. Lane number 4 is the Olympian side-by-side with her. That's Alex Walsh, the ACC Women's Rookie of the Year, a silver medalist in Tokyo with the 200 IM. Lane number 5 is her teammate, Ella Nelson, 3rd at the 200 breast at the ACC's last year, integral on those relays as well. Lane number 6, her teammate, Teskin Bat-Dep from Virginia, and Alexis Wenger, a senior from Detroit, 7th at the 200 breast at the NCAA's last year. Keating's in lane number 7, 21st at the 200 breast at the NCAA's, but look at all the Cavaliers racking up some big points for Todd DeSerbo's team. It's close on the women's side, but what answers does McLaughlin have for North Carolina State? Can she pull out the upset? The Downingtown, Pennsylvania native in lane number 8. Brooke, your focus is going to be on Alex Walsh trying to up-end Hansen.
Right, and Hansen did it last night. We saw that great finish by her. Alex Walsh finished 5th in this event last year, so to have that top seed, some major improvement by her. Across the board, lanes 2 through 8 belong to NC State, and UVA fully getting in there just to throw in a mix. But look at the points. We know the point standing, so where these girls finish is going to be huge. And then can Hansen repeat?
Take your mark.
Hansen is the defending NCAA champion in this event over Ella Nelson. You're seeing them both compete, of course, with Kate Douglas. Not in this one. She has the best time coming in out of everybody, but shows her versatility, just not electing to race here in the fun.
Right, and coming into this meet, you kind of have to look at the psych sheet and know they're going to fall off because every swimmer is over-entered. As we talked about, UVA has so much depth and versatility in all their swimmers. I think the head coach, Todd DeSerbo, does an amazing job of getting those swimmers that can swim literally every event.
Hansen again looking for the 4-peat. She's over in lane number 3.
And she'll have that early speed.
Great look of her with her breathing techniques. During this touch, it looks like it's going to be Walsh over in lane number 4, 59.09. Long underwaters by a trio of swimmers in the middle lanes. For Hansen, Walsh, and Ella Nelson.
Walsh has the strong breaststroke. She won the 200 IM on the first night, first full day of individual swims.
Monacova's hanging in as well for NC State. Looks like she's in third, perhaps fourth. It's all Walsh, 130.73 out in front.
Walsh, very much like Reese Douglas, how she swims with so much composure, so much confidence. And I think just across the board with UVA, and they've talked about the team and how well gelled they are, and they just feed off of each other and give each other that confidence, and it shows in how they come out here in these races. But watch Hansen come up here on the very end. Is she going to make a late surge? But I think just not enough pull for her.
It's going to be Alex Walsh to be thrown, three-time ACC champ in this event.
And that is unofficially a meet conference and pool record.
203.02 for the ACC gold medalist and Olympian Alex Walsh.
The first record that we've called out here tonight. Wow. Great performances and great swims finishes across the board, but that's the first record here to fall tonight.
We've seen so many close swims across many events. Let's go back to that last turn and the underwater here for Walsh and Hansen.
And I talked about just how composed she is as a swimmer. I said that with Douglas. Walsh is doing the same thing here. Underwater pullout. I like the last surge by Sophie Hansen, but I think she did it just a little bit too late because Walsh is too strong as she times that touch perfect at the finish.
Racking up medals, the Virginia Cavaliers, not just on the men's side, but the women's side too, and trying to fend off NC State to get that three-peat here at the ACC Championships. You're looking at one of the best swimmers, not just of the conference nation, but in the world right there, in Alex Walsh. Okay, there's the results. Hansen goes down, and Ella Nelson will finish in third, last year's silver medalist. Another gold medal for Alex Walsh. Congratulations, Alex. That's 3 at the ACCs. What did you make in particular about your start in this event tonight that allowed you to take another gold?
This morning I had a best time in Heat 1, and I really just felt like I really went for it this morning in the 100, so I knew I was going to have to take it out fast, and I think I'm a night swimmer, so I just kind of trusted my gut that I was going to make it work on the last 50, and it did. I couldn't be happier.
Alex, you go from last year being 5th in this event. I was very impressed even with your breaststroke in the leg of that 200 IM. Has that just been the focus for you this season on proving your breaststroke?
I feel like this season actually I've been a lot more diverse with what strokes I've worked on. I think that's shown a lot in my 4 IM, but last season I was doing 200 stroke, breaststroke twice a week, every week, and I think I'm just really happy that I feel like that work is now showing up in the pool. So, couldn't do it without all that work from last season.
Do you have a favorite event?
2 IM's honestly my favorite. It's really fun.
Congratulations on a great swim in the 200 breast.
Thank you.
Well, that was her silver at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Her team loves it, and so does the head coach, Todd DeServo. How about this ending here between Walsh, the Olympian, against Hansen? It's Walsh that gets to the touchpad first. That caps off the women's individual events. We go next to the men's 200 breaststroke. On the men's side, it's been NC State since day one of the ACC Championships. Virginia trying to hang in on that bronze right now. Louisville finds themselves in seconds. Last individual event of the championships will be on the men's side of the 200 breaststroke. We will begin with the C final. You have some strong, reputable swimmers in Chrissy, who's instrumental on the relays. He's over in lane 1. Jerry Chen also for Pitt. In lane number 5, Bastian for Florida State on the outside, lane number 8.
Women have finished the individual. Now it's time for the men to wrap it up in these 3 heats of 200 breast.
don't forget we have the 400 freestyle relays to cap off the championships. That's later on. Diving will be first. Can't wait for the women's platform finals to come after our championship of this 200-yard breaststroke. Good start here by Chrissy. Is over in lane number 1 for Pitt.
Yeah, we've had the pleasure of following some great races here over these last 5 days. And it's all due to the athletes that are in the pool. You know, they make our job fun, give us lots of talking points, even all the way down to the 1650.
In testing the depth, we've seen so many records broken. Meet, pool, American records. We've also seen repeat champions, as many as 5. We've seen some freshmen start. It attests all across the board in the ACC, how they can challenge some of these other conferences. And obviously, getting ready for NCAAs and zones, which is going to be at this very pool.
Right, just a couple weeks away for zones, and then NC2As is about a month away.
Do you feel like we might have a leg over some of the others from around the country, just having the familiar territory here at the McAuley Aquatic Center?
Yeah, and you know, that happened again 2 years ago when they were at Greensboro, North Carolina, and the NC2As were there. And so I'm going to say myself as an athlete, I would certainly use that to my advantage. You know, as an athlete, you can make things up sometimes in your head and believe it, and that's one of the good things that you can believe is, yeah, I have an advantage because I swam my conference meet in this pool.
See if Bastian can get it down to the final 25. You saw the outside top of your screen over in lane number 8. Jerry Chen also trying to hang on to in lane number 5. Bastian, the outside, trying to get it in this C final towards that touchpad. 1:55.36. Florida State takes the C final with Isaac Bastian. He knows it.
That was a great swim. 1:59.13 he went this morning.
Wow, crushed that.
That's a big thing. You know, you have to, and you heard Walsh talk about being a great final swimmer. You have to be a good final swimmer. You can't just put it together in the morning when there's no pressure. So learning to be able to swim good in the morning and come back and swim faster at night.
9 points towards that total score for Florida State in the standings. There's the results. Bastian, suspension held off Chen, and Fikish goes into 3rd in the C final for Notre Dame.
1 down, 2 to go.
Go to the B final. There's going to be a little disappointment here for Somov. He's in lane number 6. Last year he won ACC gold at 1:51.26, knocking off Georgia Tech's Pettis, who is in the championship. What's the mindset here for Somov and trying to take it here in the B final? Obviously not getting into the A final.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. We saw that earlier tonight
with White
in the backstroke. And again, these athletes have swum so many times, warm-ups, worn-downs, body staying fresh, muscles, not getting fatigued. The 5th year, a little bit older, longer to recover.
Take your mark.
But it's certainly his chance to make his mark, put in a good swim, really for him. You know, he's got to do this as the 5th year. This is his last race as an individual collegiate swimmer. What the future holds for him, you know, is uncertain, but possibly being able to go into the International Swim League.
Keep an eye on lane number 8, van der Laan for Pitt on the outside. You also have Storch in lane number 4, Arsenio Bustos in lane number 5 for North Carolina State.
You know, I always thought too, I look back on some of my performances, and your worst swims, your worst performances are the ones that you have to gain the most of. You learn the most about yourself, not only as a swimmer, but as an individual, and how he will remember his collegiate swimming career as he goes into kind of adulthood, I would say, after this.
Nichols takes the lead there for Virginia. Strong 50 from him here for Nichols, also integral in those relay teams. Touching the turn here for Noah Nichols. Christensen also gaining some momentum for Notre Dame in lane number 1. It's Nichols right there. Front here on this turn in the final 50 here for Nichols and company.
And he's been really solid, really pushed that third 50 to get him out in front, which is so key. Nice glide still, not rushing the stroke. You see those hips pop up.
Look at Sumov, we mentioned him. He won this last year. He's over in lane number 6. Can he take the B final here with that long underwater over Nichols? Nichols still out in front for Virginia in the B final. Can Nichols get there over Sumov? Here's the touch at 1:53.20. Nichols does it for the Cavaliers. Nichols over Bustov and Sumov will finish in third in the B final. And that will lead to the last individual race of the ACC championships. The championship for the 200-yard breaststroke.
Last time we'll see the fireworks.
That's a shame because I love the pyrotechnics. There's Kusto in lane number 1. He's a senior from Poland and a 4-time All-American. Lane number 2 belongs to Bottleberg. He actually boasts the best time at 1:52.44, a B cut this season in this event. Petrosov is over in lane number 3, a silver medalist in the 100 breast at the Summer Youth Olympics for Kazakhstan. Lane number 4 is a guy to watch out for. Kyle Paputas won the 200 breast in 2019-2020. The ACCs represents Brazil at the Pan Am Games. In lane number 5, he's challenged by Carlos Colmarti. We've seen what he can do in other events, 6 of the NCAAs in this event last year. Lane number 6, there's Pouch for Virginia Tech. Can he continue the momentum of the Hokies tonight as a junior? Lane number 7 is his teammate in Myberg. He's a senior NCAA 30th last year, the 200 breast. Finally, in lane number 8 is Max Ida for Virginia, an Illinois All-State champion. Looks to do it here at the collegiate level. He started as a freshman on the UVA campus. Will Center and Paputas, can he get it done like he did in 19 and 20?
19 and 20, then finished second last year. He's been 4th in the 100 breast, 4th in the 200 IM. So his opportunity here tonight to be Georgia Tech's first individual champion as his 5th year. That would be one heck of a way to end his collegiate swimming career.
And the top time this year of Bottleberg, he's in lane number 2 for Notre Dame.
Bright yellow cap, bright pink suit, right in the middle of the pool.
Start lane number 1 for Kusto of North Carolina State. He's a senior with that long underwater there. Again, as Brooke is mentioning, Paputas is over in lane number 4. Gets the touch there in lane number 4, 25.06. Good split for him for Georgia Tech.
So key to nail these walls, right? The walls are not a break. You're swimming in, hitting that stroke with perfection into the wall so the momentum continues. You're not slowing down. But if you don't hit that wall just perfect, it's almost like applying the brakes and then you're having to go uphill again. So you want to keep that downhill motion feeling as you go into these walls.
Colmarte outstretches Paputas there for Virginia Tech at 53.41.
Colmarte was the champion in the 200 IM, so we know he's got strong strokes.
Now Paputas takes the lead over Colmarte. Busto not far behind in third. Pouch as well hanging in for Virginia Tech in lane number 6. Coming down the lanes 4 and 5. Focus on those 2 lanes. Colmarti at 1:22.24 with the lead.
That pull out, staying strong, not slipping through the water. Don't rush your stroke and mess your tempo up because the race gets hot.
Colmarti has the lead over Papantis. In third is Petrushev, there for Louisville. Hear the crowd roaring to McAuley Aquatic Center.
How good has Virginia Tech been tonight?
Colmarti get there first. 1:51.69. Virginia Tech gets it done yet again with Colmarti capturing gold for the Hokies.
Oh, and just off the meet record. Just off the meet record time of 1:51.26. Here's that finish. We saw Colmarti come in really strong on the last turn, but he really pressed it, swam that race so smart, and just able to get his hand on the wall first.
Carles Colmarti continues the superb swimming by Virginia Tech. I would say in the latter days of the ACCs, hanging on for Sergio Miro's team. And the embrace between he and his teammates, he deserves it. Had some strong individual events. I mentioned 6 in the NCAA last year in this event. And will undoubtedly swim the NCAAs in this event to come here at Georgia Tech. Love that duel between he and Papantis, but Caio does fall into third. Petrushev with a strong surge in that final, 12, 13 yards. He takes the silver for Louisville. Sophomore from Spain will get the last individual gold medal on the swimming side of the ACC championships in the 200-yard breaststroke.
Virginia Tech men winning 3 of the 4 individual events here tonight.
They've been remarkable.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, just that last
couple of days,
push.
right?
Yeah, last night and tonight, you know, and then they just kind of build that speed. Last night we were talking, you know, a lot about Louisville. Tonight's a lot about Virginia Tech on that side.
Carlos, congratulations on a gold here at the ACCs. That last 25 for you, what's going through your mind as you're trying to capture that gold to round out the individual events on the swimming side?
I swear, in the last 25, all I had in my mind was my team. I knew they were cheering for me. I knew Sam won the 2 backstroke, Yusuf won the 100 free, and I did it for them. We needed that gold medal, and I did it for the team. All I had in my mind was the team.
Congratulations, and I was actually just talking to Dave about Virginia Tech, you guys winning 3 out of the 4 individual events here tonight. Just through this week, how have you guys been able to get stronger, even though you're swimming and racing? Is just the camaraderie that you guys have to just pull each other through when it hurts so bad?
I think one of our strongest points is our mindset. Yesterday we didn't have a great session at night, but like, it doesn't matter for us. We're gonna come the next day and give our 100%.
Congratulations on a great performance tonight.
Thank you very much.
Virginia Tech finished 3rd at the NCAAs last year, but we end the swimming on the individual side in that daunting approach from the 10-meter platform. The women's platform finals are next. Here's a look at the women's standings. It's Virginia out in front, having that separation over NC State, Louisville, and North Carolina in 3rd and 4th respectively.
Here on the pool deck with former Division I diving head coach Jason Ballman, I'm Dave Leno. Different for the women tonight on the platform, going from 6 rounds to 5 on the tower.
Yeah, so the women only do 5 rounds of dives. They get to leave one of the 6 categories out. Our women are going to choose those front, back, reverse, inward, twisting, and the arm stand category. 7 of the 8 ladies are going to leave out the arm stand category.
Aranza Vasquez comes in as the defending champ at the ACCs, also started the NCAAs as well, a top 10 finish for her, the Mexican Olympian. On the flip side, Elsa Pasternak comes in with a ton of momentum, top scores of the prelims for Louisville.
Yeah, Elsa's contest this morning was fantastic. She was on fire, averaging just under 8, and she was going almost 69 points a dive for a total of 340 points in the prelims. That's 3 points better than Aranza did in the final last year at the 2021 ACCs.
Here's the order, and it's the second final for Pasternak. Jason commented on what she did earlier. Vasquez again, defending champ. How about Margot O'Mara on all 3 boards getting to the finals, 3 of 3?
Yeah, we had six of the 8 finalists from last year back. Margot's obviously new because she's a freshman this year. All 3 finals showing her versatility. She's actually making a dive change from the prelims to the finals as well. So, gonna be fun.
To start here with Woodruff here for the women's platform final.
So Carmen's first dive is a back 2.5 somersaults with 1.5 twist. So she's facing backwards. She's going to do a back 1.5, 1.5, and then do the somersault out. So I like the power and explosion off the start. She's got the good movement here. When she gets out, she needs to reach out in front more so we don't see that dive over-rotate and throw the water at us going in. But aggressive start, first time in the finals, get some nerves out, come back and keep fighting.
Yeah, 43.20, see if she can have a better second dive. And now to Amy Reed, seeing her for the first time in a final here at the championships.
This is her 3rd time in the platform final, starting with the reverse 2.5 somersault tuck, going forward, rotating back towards the platform. And I like the start. So she's got a good, powerful start. She extends, and I want to see her put her feet out a little sooner and then look back so that it doesn't get that same little bit of over-rotation, but still going to be in the satisfactory category.
And native of leads in the United Kingdom under Kate Kasperzak, her diving coach at Pitt. Respectable score there to start. Over to Straub for Notre Dame, who finished 3rd last year.
Yeah, Kelly does a little. Does all of her dives on the 7-year platform. Let's say forward 2.5 somersault pike. So I like her takeoff here. It's nice and powerful and explosive. We got to get out maybe just a tiny bit sooner, but I like that we're going forward, getting our hips up and moving. And then you see her line up and grab her hands and get good sound going in the water. Nice dive.
Dennis attested to her versatility throughout the championships. On that vein, Margot O'Mara getting to another final.
So Margot's doing the same dive we just saw from Kelly, but from the 5-meter platform. Again, nice takeoff and movement that way. I like that she's stretching on her finish. See her keep her hands up and throw with her head up and get into a nice tight pike. Solid straight up and down.
We see some divers, Jason, that specialize just in the tower, the springboard, but O'Mara can go all across the board. Just how difficult is that from the versatility standpoint?
You know, it's a little easier to learn some of the platform because it doesn't move, but it's also a little bit more scary because you've got the height that goes along with it. And so it takes a little bit of time. So this is Cameron's forward 3.5 somersaults tuck. Again, she's going very quickly. She's got to let go a little sooner so she can get the right lineup. Just missed the entry, but everything to that point was what we're looking for. Unfortunately, that brings the scores down to that top end of deficient, bottom of satisfactory for 4.5s and 5s.
Up aiming for 7s, 8s, or even better. Saw a slew of 9s last night towards the tail end on the men's platform side. Here's Ellie Watson.
This is her forward 3.5 somersaults pike from the 10-meter platform. I like that takeoff, so it's good and moving well. She's got to get a little deeper in her pike, but she gets out at the right time. Nice job by Allie there. Got to look at the entry a little bit more. Maybe a little nerves here in the first round.
A 45-0 there for Watson. To the Olympian here at Aranza Vasquez. this last year at 3:37.10 was her score on the platform to capture ACC gold.
Around starts with an inward 2.5 somersault pike, so facing backwards. She's going to rotate forward towards the platform. So it's a great entry on the finish. As you're going to look, I'm going to be a little bit, because I like what she does here on her start, but as she goes by the platform, you see her flex her feet slightly, and then they point again when she comes out and goes in and gets a nice solid lineup. That maybe is the only little small deduction in there. Could be a little cleaner on the entry.
She's going to have the best score so far, Jason, at 56 even. Pasterink will finish off for Louisville. And as Jason has mentioned, she has paced the field from the prelims coming into the final on the tower.
Yeah, and remember, everybody starts over with 0. So that's the good news, bad news, right? You got to be in the top 8. And that's an awesome entry. She seems to have found her picking up where she left off. Really good vertical entry. Love her pike position. Look, there's no space between her chest and legs, and she just drills the entry. That was awesome.
Elsa nails her first dive at 70 even. She has the lead over the defending champ Vasquez. Early 1 down, 4 to go here for the championship. All right, starting the second round here of the platform finals with Woodruff here in her first finals at the ACCs, a native of Charlotte. She's a junior on the Georgia Tech campus at her home pool.
Right, so we picked 5 of those 6 categories. She's starting, and her second dive is the forward 3.5 somersault tuck. And she's going to like what she did there. It's a little better effort than the first one. She's up and down on the end of the platform. I like how she throws and picks her head up and gets into that tuck. Could be a little smaller, maybe those feet together. And up and down. Not quite the clean entry, but still good to really good scores there.
Yeah, because she got vertical there on that entry, 55.35 there, better than her first. Now over to Amy Reed for Pitt at a 2.9 degree of difficulty.
So this is Amy's back at 2.5 somersault pike, so she's going to face backward, get her arms through and rotate 2.5 times backward in the pike position with straight legs. And vertical. I love the way she gets that moving. When we get to that spot where she sees her spot, so 1 second spot here, and then she lets go, puts her hands down and looks back and holds her tight line. Up and down, gonna like the results of that. 7.5 and 8 there for over 65 points. That's awesome, good for her.
6 on the platform last year in the finals. Go to the bronze medalist last year and back to Kelly Straub for her second attempt.
So this is Kelly's inward 2.5 somersault tuck. Again on the 7 meter, 2.7 degree difficulty. And Kelly, senior, graduate already. Really nice start on her inward 2.5 here. Love that her head's up. She's nice and small in her tuck. She points her feet coming out, maybe just a tiny bit short of vertical, but got great sound on that. She could have gotten her body a little straighter.
The difference going from 10 meter, 7, or perhaps even the 5 meter here on the platform.
I mean, some of it's what you're used to. You know, Notre Dame doesn't actually have a tower where they are, so they have to travel to train there. So, you know, hours that you've got, probably the closest one to them is at Purdue. So again, you can choose which one of the platforms you go on. Margot's doing hers on the 5, so she's doing an inward 2.5 somersault tuck. Great head up in position, nice small tuck, and kicks and goes that way. By doing it on the 5 meter, it's actually got a higher degree of difficulty of 3.1, and still those execution scores at the 8, gonna get a big result for a total of over 70.
Yeah, that's one of her best dives across all 3 boards. We go from her to Hidalgo now for Georgia Tech with a 3.0 degree of difficulty.
So Cameron's doing the back. Cameron's doing a back 2.5 somersault tuck here on the 5 meter. So it ends up a little short of vertical. She's got to get out just a little later and put her feet higher. The other is as she comes out, she actually loosens in her back just slightly, and that makes the dive go a hair short of vertical, but had some good components to it. That's why it's in the satisfactory range. And we got those categories we talked about. Good 7 to 8, satisfactory from 5 to 6.5, very good 8.5 to 9.
Watson's now at the 10-meter platform.
This is her reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. So facing forward, gonna rotate back towards the platform. 2.5 times tuck position, legs bent. And nice, this is where you find things that she's had a good dive. I like the extension off the platform. Could be a little bit more powerful. It scoots just a little bit forward, but she's nice and tight. She sees her spot, she lets go. She can look back a little bit sooner so that it doesn't quite get that past and over rotation at the end.
Did the judges see when the legs are in the tuck position out apart from the shoulders and then working them back in?
Yeah, they can. Now, where they're sitting is kind of down on the same side of the pool where we are, and they're kind of looking up at it, so it's a little easier for them to see that. If they see it from the side, it's a 1/2 to 2-point deduction. The feet are outside of the legs are outside of the chest and the shoulders.
One of the most powerful divers in the world in Aranza Vasquez.
This is her forward 3.5 somersaults tuck. And again, it's got a really good takeoff. She's got good balance on the end of the platform. Her hands are up and she picks her head up and gets that throw. But here, when she comes out, you gotta start your pike out, go your legs straight a little sooner. You see her hips are already at vertical and she's about 3 meters, and it's hard to stop. It just keeps going away.
Solid dive the first attempt, not so much on the second. So Prastarenko is going to have the same exact dive, but from the puck position from the pike instead of the tuck.
Yeah, so she's going to do the exact same list here, but this is a forward 3.5 somersault pike position at 3.0 degree difficulty. And a little bit of a miss there, but she had it. I like the way it was moving. Again, this is the part that you want to be a diver, right? You have to be able to do all of these movements, be aggressive, get it moving, and use your visual cues and check out just a little sooner so that you reach in front of the spot you're going to go in, knowing you're going to keep rotating up to vertical.
So we've seen some over-rotation trying to get more vertical. How can these divers resurrect that moving forward?
You know, you can't go in the past. You can only go forward, right?
Here's the standings through 2 rounds so far. Dukes O'Mara's out on top, followed by Reed, and Prastarenk's over in 3rd for Louisville. We're starting round 3. Back to Georgia Tech's Woodruff. Back on the 10-meter here with a 2.8 degree of difficulty. Just going to be in the tuck position throughout this dive.
After watching the preliminaries, this was a round for these ladies that are all in the top 8, did some really good dives. So this is Carmen's reverse 2.5 somersault tuck at 2.8 off the 10-meter. Good, right? So starts good. I, again, would like to see her grab a little lower on her knees and get her tuck slightly smaller in her flight position there. And then as she gets out, she puts her feet a little high, and it just slightly goes over, but a good aggressive takeoff. You got to put yourself in position to do a good dive, and then you got to get out and put it down. But that's still going to be satisfactory scores.
Yep, still with 6s there for Woodruff. Back over to Reed.
So Amy is going to do the one arm stand that we're going to see in our contest. So she chooses to kick up, and she's going to kind of do this kind of a cartwheel up sort of. So see that very common in gymnastics and getting there. And remember, the judges start judging from the moment she kicks up. Nice steady vertical balance there. And that's a very good job from her. That's an improvement over the prelims. She actually struggled with the handstand and holding it there a little bit in the prelims, but I really like what she did here. And then this is a very similar dive she just did. That back 2.5 somersault pike, you see the same visual cues here as she starts going into that spot, and she lets go with her hands down, looks back, and nice back and reverse entry. That's a nice position going in the water.
Mentioned she's from the UK. We know the British are a powerhouse in diving like the United States, but Reed broke a slew of records across all 3 boards last year for Pitt, getting to the NCAAs on the platform. Here's Straub.
Kelly's going to do a back 2.5 somersaults tuck from the 7-meter platform, 2.8. And that was good. She did a really good one in the warm-up not too long ago. I like her takeoff here. It's nice and aggressive and small in her tuck. She also could grab a little lower, but I like how she gets out. Just got to look back a little sooner, just slightly over, but still a solid effort.
Great scores there for Straub.
Yeah, almost 60 points. Those 7.5s for good execution scores.
Then O'Mara, who had the lead after 2 rounds for her 3rd attempt. Again, 5 rounds different from 6 on the springboard.
And that's Margot's reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. Again, you see her, she's doing it on the 7-meter platform. So it's a 2.9 degree difficulty, actually 1/10 higher than on the 10-meter platform. Aggressive and smart. She kicks it out, looks back. Because it's traveling a little forward, it ends up a hair short of vertical and throws some short water, but makes the right sound, just slightly short. Still good dive.
62.35 there for O'Mara, trying to hang on to first. Over to Hidalgo with a 2.8 degree difficulty. She'll be in the tuck position.
So this is Cameron's reverse 2.5 tuck. Cammy's doing it on the 10-meter. 2.8 degree difficulty. That was almost a repeat of what she did earlier today. She got 8.5s earlier in the prelims. That one's going to be right in there too. Nice kick out. I was talking to John Ames, her coach, before. She likes to wait a little bit, put her feet a little, doesn't like to leave it short, but that was a nice effort.
Some of the best scorers of this fight, along with Vasquez, there for Hidalgo.
They're going to be happy about that.
Yeah. Making that push against O'Mara and Vasquez. But first, here's Dukes Watson.
And I know we've been talking about it all week, kind of this degree difficulty in execution. Allie's got the hardest degree of difficulty in the contest total. This is a back 3.5 somersaults tuck, 3.3 degree of difficulty up there on the 10-meter. And that, she's going to be happy with that. Again, I could see a little bit more push and extension off the platform where she gets this right here. She can get a little bit more out of the start, but she's very good at spotting, seeing her vertical spot there, kick, and gets her hands on it. Nice job. She's going to like that.
Okay, she gets the vertical on the entry there. Why, for those that don't know the scoring so much, aren't those 8s and 9s on that dive?
You know, it's a little bit flat feet in the tuck, a little bit open. You see these little tiny half-point deductions that you see there that kind of bring it into the good category. And it did throw a little bit of long water, but again, still, it's a good dive. It's not a very good dive. So Rounds is doing a back 2.5 somersault pike here. 2.9 degree of difficulty, so 0.4 less. It's a good start, and it was really good and powerful on the top and takeoff. And this is the really challenging part about that, is you got to be these little bit of movement of a split second later, and she's really vertical, and it's very good scores. That's a little short. Satisfactory to good, right in that range.
Still keeping O'Mara in the lead, along with Reed in first and second. Presterink here for Louisville.
Also doing the same dive. And that was a little bit better, right? And that's the benefit of doing it right after. If you do it better, the judges just saw that, gave it a score. Probably have to move that score, goes a little bit higher. Love her pike. Look how tight she is there and right on it. It could be a cleaner entry, but I like it. Just not quite everything, but it was very good.
It's going to keep O'Mara in the lead after 3 rounds, despite that dive by Presterink. She's in second. Amy Reed right now in third. We jumpstart round 4. Again, 2 rounds to go to claim our women's platform championship. Over for round 4, it's Woodruff yet again. What have you made of her start so far in the final?
You know, I think she's doing a good job. I think, you know, it maybe started off a little shaky and then coming back and getting better, and you keep clawing at it. But all of these chances to compete are a learning experience, right? What can you take away from it? How can you do a little better the next time? You're not going to do everything perfect. If you do, maybe that should be the end of your career and be done, because go off on a high note. This is a back 2.5 somersault pike. Same dive you just saw. And again, she's gotten better as the rounds have gone on. Maybe she's a little more comfortable spotting there in the back and reverse direction. You see her see one spot, second spot there, and her hands are down and looks back. A little bit over, throwing that long water, but still, I like that.
That's her best through 4 rounds. Mentioned the pit diver that shattered a slew of records in Amy Reed. It's her 4th attempt.
So Amy's doing a forward, her twisting dive, a forward 2.5 somersault with 1 twist free. So what you see her do is do that in, right? She comes off the tower, she does a front 1.5 somersault with a full twist, and then she comes out of that and starts grabbing her legs to go back into the pike position somersault. She didn't quite get her hips all the way back up, so she gets to that straight line on the entry. So a little short of vertical here, but had some good components there.
How tough is that first twist from the approach for her on the 5-hop hurdle?
You know, you can do it in 2 different ways. For her, I think it's actually pretty good because she gets nice and quick and into it, so she can get out early and then get into that another position and change to the pike.
Straub's 4th attempt, 2.8 degree of difficulty here. Have some twisting in this dive too.
And so you're going to see another version of twisting. This is a back 1.5 somersaults with 2.5 twists. And she gets a little bit of movement sideways there on the takeoff, and so it's a little off axis. So as she comes out, she ends up a little bit off axis too. Again, as the judges, you pick up on some of those things, and it can kind of affect your score. That's why I'm not real surprised with some of those 5.5s and 6s, where it's some variation in there, where it's a little lower.
Is the idea for her to work herself towards the middle, though?
It should be square, right? It should be going in the spot that you left the tower from.
Makes sense. Here's O'Mara for Duke.
But again, she's back down on the 5-meter doing a back 2.5 somersault tuck. Not always terrible because this is 3.0 degree of difficulty. And, you know, one of the things that Nunzio said to me before is that she's a gamer, and she is. That this is a very good dive for her. Nice small tuck, getting in there. Nice straight legs. Can maybe be a little bit more hollow on her entry, but very good stop, knee save underwater to make it go down and good sound.
Nunzio Esposito, the diving coach for Duke, has to love that for O'Mara. She's really set the tone here in the platform final. Over to Hidalgo with a 3.2 degree of difficulty. Again, that's up considerably, Jason, from 2.8 in the 3rd round.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is an inward 3.5 somersault tuck, when it's a dive we saw a lot of the men do yesterday. Facing backwards, going towards the platform. And had all of the power, right? So I like her takeoff. She's small in her tuck, very little in control. She's got a pike out there, and she's just a little bit late unfolding, so it starts to go past vertical. And at that point, there's not a lot you can do. She tries to save it and pull her legs back in, but just maybe a little too excited. Lots of power here, but just got to get the control too.
See how Watson does here for her 4th attempt.
And Allie's going to do the exact same dive. Again, if you do it better than the one that went in front of you, you can expect to be rewarded by the judges.
4th ACC final for Watson.
So that dive is ends up short of vertical because it's got a little bit of push back from the tower, and then she's a little anxious to get out and try to get there instead of staying down a little bit more and getting her hips up. I think maybe if she went a little faster, that could help, but I thought that was, had the pieces, just got a little anxious on the finish.
So it opens the door for Aranza Vasquez, the Olympian. It was 6 for Mexico at the Olympic Games. 6 at the NCAA on platform with a 280.50.
So this is her reverse 2.5 somersault tuck at 2.8 degree of difficulty up there. And she's a little early on the out, and it moves just a little too far away from the platform. And again, if you're moving forward but you're rotating backwards, you're working against your momentum. So as you put your feet, they got to be a little higher. Now I think she realizes it. She tries to pull herself to vertical. She's got a great body position, but she could be a little more hollow. Love the line, just not quite vertical, but still solid.
Anxiously awaiting those scores that will allow her to climb up the standings. Past her rank here to round out her 4th attempt. Penultimate dive for her for Louisville.
And you can tell as her last, same thing. She's doing the same dive we just saw. So the last one was right at that top end, bottom end of good at 7. If she does it better, get those very good scores. And I think it will be better, but I'm not sure it'll be quite very good. It might be. It's going to be really close because I like the jump and nice small tuck. You see her spot once, twice, and then put her feet, legs out straight and her hands down. And right there, not quite as clean as this morning, but still going to like that.
67.20. That's going to solidify 2nd place for she and the Cardinals, all following Margot O'Mara Jason with 1 round to go. Straub remains in 3rd.
Yeah.
Here's round 5 with Woodruff.
Very close. Now there is a dive change in here. We'll talk about it in a second. So, and how that may impact the final results here. So, Carmen's last dive, inward 2.5 somersault pike.
Finds herself in 5th right now.
And it's a great way to finish. I like that it's her jump off the tower. I like how deep she is in her pike. Look, there's no space between her chest and her legs. Her feet flex a little going by the platform. She gets out and goes straight up and down. Again, working on being a cleaner entry, but right there.
Solid showing by Woodruff here in the championship. Now over to Reed for her last dive with a 2.8 degree of difficulty.
And it's kind of been the theme. She's also doing the same dive as the Carmen right in front of her. Inward 2.5 somersault pike to finish her last dive here in her 3rd platform final at the ACCs. So lots of experience. And it's up and down. It gets a little bit of what I would call arch and bend in her back, but I like the takeoff. And look again, it's nice and small. You got to be flexible, and you got to make sure you reach out in front just a little more and hold that body line, and then pike save underwater.
Better dive from her for her last attempt at 54.60 for Reed. Congratulations for Pitt for making that final here on the platform. Over to Straub, who's been in 3rd place, and an opportunity for her to solidify that medal.
Yep, so this is her last dive as a reverse 2.5 somersault tuck again on the 7 meter, 2.9 degree of difficulty there. So I like it. I like that she's fast and aggressive there, and she just puts it in just a tiny bit short. But what I like about Kelly is she's trying to enjoy the moment as a senior, and I love the smile and the happiness there.
Nailed it at 63.80 on a round 5 dive there for Straub. She can feel that medal here at the ACCs. Coach Bradshaw will love that for Notre Dame. There's that embrace between the two. Also Coach Finland as well. Now to Margot O'Mara.
So Margot changed her dive from the prelims. She did a back 1.5, 1.5 on the 5-meter. She's now doing a back 2.5, 1.5 on the 10-meter. Picks up 0.7 in degree of difficulty to 3.2, and this is awesome. And you know what? The first one she did in a while was in the warm-ups a few minutes ago, right before we got started, and that's going to get very good scores.
Could that perhaps give Margot O'Mara the gold at 72 flat?
And again, what did I tell you that Nunzio said? She's a gamer, and
Yep.
look how excited she is. I love it. They run over to watch the replay and take it in. Love the enthusiasm. Oh, to be a freshman in college again.
Here to Hidalgo. The 3.2 degree of difficulty to round out her final.
And Cammie's got the back 2.5, 1.5. Same dive we just saw that Margot did. And a good, I like the way she finishes up there. She is, platform I think has been one of her best events, but she did good all around her, made all 3 finals, right? This is a good takeoff. She's got to make sure that she gets, again, reaches out a little further on her entry so that we don't get that little bit of long water, but straight up and down, just a little past.
And that might have been her best dive here in the platform final, but congrats again to her and the staff on her versatility, to your point.
And supporting their teammate, big hugs all around.
She and Woodruff making this final. Here's Allie Watson of Duke. Can she follow in the footsteps of fellow Blue Devil Margot O'Mara?
And this is her final dive, is the same one, back 2.5, 1.5. She was the silver medalist last year, too. She's going to like that. It's going to get 7, 7.5, maybe an 8 here or there. Just not quite the entry. She's just a little arched on her finish, but I love the fact that she's getting it moving and being big and powerful, giving her a good chance there. So big jump, moving it. Maybe could get those legs a tiny bit straighter, but up and down, nice hands. Good job.
And congrats to Allie Watson of Duke. In the final there, one of her best dives of the championships. See what Vasquez can do to challenge O'Mara now.
And so last dive for Aranza is a forward 2.5 with a full twist at 2.9 degree of difficulty. You saw Amy Marie do this dive earlier, same dive. Now remember, we talked about the way in which Amy did hers with the twist first. Aranza does hers out, so she does a somersault first. She does a 1.5 somersault, comes out to a straight line and does the full twist. And she does a great entry going into the water on that. And it's a nice way for her to finish up, her 3rd final of the week. 6 for 6, in
That's
last year and this
remarkable.
year. Yeah, I mean, she's pretty consistent and solid in there.
And now, Jason, it will fall on the dive of Elsa Prasterink. It's O'Mara and Straub out in front. Prasterink has been in second for gold.
So she knows that she did everything she could to put herself in position to win. Lower degree of difficulty. It's going to be close.
It's going to love her scores at 72.50. There's Margot O'Mara looking.
And you see Margot kind of look in disbelief. That was a very close finish.
Margot's going to hang on.
That was a great dive for Elsa to finish the contest.
Margot O'Mara wins gold on the platform here at the ACCs, and I don't think she can believe it after that dive by Prestering.
No, I think that's kind of what's going on. It's like, huh? What just happened here? And, you know, she's also squaring to me. Look at the Louisville Cardinals there, enjoying that. Love it.
Margot O'Mara at 324.95 over Prestering at 321.45. Despite that impeccable dive there from Louisville. When we return, we'll talk to our gold medalist, Duke's Margot O'Mara. Thrilling action continuing from Atlanta. Margot O'Mara gets ACC gold. She delivers on the 1 meter, does it on the platform. And our gold medalist joins us. Margot, congratulations. You had a great last dive, but what was going through your mind on Elsa's last attempt? Could you believe it that you won another gold here in Atlanta?
Honestly, no, because I honestly don't do that much platform, but I really just enjoyed every moment. I felt really focused, kept my composure, and I actually didn't watch Elsa's last dive because I knew she's incredible. She's been incredible this whole competition, and then I looked at the scoreboard, and I'm so excited. I couldn't be happier.
Congratulations, Margot.
Thank you.
It seems like we're making a habit of this. Second time this week. You made a change from the prelims to the finals.
Yeah.
That obviously worked out for you. Take me through that decision between you and Nunzio and not doing a lot of platform.
Yeah, so Nunzio and I talked after the prelim because my last dive DD was a lot lower. And I've done it before. I haven't done it in about 2 years, but I felt like I could do it. So Nunzio was like, let's practice in the warm-up. So we practiced in the warm-up, felt good about it, and decided to do it.
That's awesome. He says you're a gamer, and it showed. That was fantastic. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Margot O'Mara. She finishes at first. Prestering gets the silver, and Straub gets the bronze. Hardware on the line. We go to the 400 freestyle relays next. Swimming through the women's standings, Virginia at the top looking for the three-peat. NC State in second, Louisville hanging on for that bronze here at the ACCs on the women's side. It's now time for the final women's event. It's the women's 400-yard freestyle relay, the first of 3 heats. Top time will win it. We'll begin with Pitt in lane 2, Georgia Tech in lane 4, Miami in 6, Boston College in 8.
4 laps for each swimmer, all freestyle here. You see the open lanes again, as we've seen all week in the relays. Clean water, allowing these teams to perform well, looking to qualify for the NC2As.
Guy on lane 4, that's Zora Rybkova in her home bull at 24:20. A nice split by her and Georgia Tech. Just in second there is Miami with San Nicolas Martinez. We'll give way to JC hitting up next for the next leg.
Great turn there, great dolphin kicks off the wall. Remember, do not post into the finish.
Tech still has the lead, 49-87. Terrific opening leg there for the Yellow Jackets. And now it's Brooke Switzer, the junior. I mentioned Hittenbrook. Watch her in lane number 6 for Miami, taking that lead for the first time for the Hurricanes.
Right, taking out that first 50 strong. Again, I like the confidence. We just don't want to overswim that first 50. Here we are, now back on the hundreds. The third 25 is going to be key. Getting into this final turn.
Furman's on the outside in third for Pitt. Boston College as well is out there. So coming down to those middle lanes there, and Switzer and Hitton. Switzer taking the lead there for Georgia Tech slightly on this exchange. Third leg, 139.55. Georgia Tech still out front. Here comes Rachel Fulton for her leg.
Georgia Tech's got 3 freshmen on this relay, and Brooke just a junior.
Fulton and Murphy to culminate this first heat. Both freshmen for Georgia Tech to Brooks Point. There's the turn out in lane 4 though. Georgia Tech at 2:03.06 still with the lead.
Looking good. Again, every swimmer has a huge part in these relays. You cannot leave it up to one swimmer.
The Miami student athletes trying to implore on Sarah. Going to this anchor leg, and here comes Knapp and Murphy. It's Georgia Tech out in front.
Everything you've got here, the final race for these teams right here. You have to leave nothing in the pool. Give it everything you got.
That surge there by Miami and Knapp over in lane number 6. Here comes Georgia Tech on this turn for the final 52, 67 for the Hurricanes in lane 6.
A great first 50 there by Sydney. Third 25, here it is. The legs almost feel like cement, like you feel them going into the bulkhead there, so you gotta get off strong.
It's gonna come down to Knapp and Murphy for Miami and Georgia Tech.
Murphy breathing towards her, she's breathing away, head down to the finish.
Miami trying to get there in lane 6. So far, top time for the Hurricanes.
That will be the time to beat. Remember, no preliminary relays. So you score out of all 3 heats.
3:18:28 to beat. 1 heat down, and again, congrats on the great championships to those programs. Pitt, Georgia Tech, Miami, and Boston College on the women's side. We'll see the men a little bit later through heat 1. Georgia Tech and Pitt, 3:18:28 to beat. Alliance to come in this relay. But first to the second heat we go. Florida State will be in lane number 2, followed by North Carolina, continuing the theme of even lanes. Here are the championships in lane number 4, Notre Dame in 6, Duke on the outside in lane 8. You've commented a lot throughout the championships how impressed you've been by the freshman McKenna Smith. She'll have this opening leg for Duke.
Yeah, I think, and then Sarah Foley to follow her, who we've talked a lot about having great swims here through the week.
Take your mark.
We talk about the backstroke starts and the depth. It's the same thing coming off the block when you work those underwaters. You're not going too deep and not staying too shallow. The fastest you will ever be in the water is coming off of that block. So that's where that momentum and that speed generates. And then it's just maintaining it through the arms and the legs.
Lindner gets there for North Carolina before Duke's McKenna Smith in lanes 4 and 8 respectively. This last 25 of the opening leg.
North Carolina looking really good coming into this first exchange.
I like that split at 49-14 of that opening leg, and it gives way to the freshman and Olivia Nell.
Pops right up there, gets right up on top of the water, really using those first 2 strokes. Get that body position up, legs into it.
Moynihan is also terrific for Neil Studd's Florida State team. She's over in lane number 2. 1:12:15. It's still UNC with the lead over in lane 4. Closing in is Crispin. We've seen her in the individual events throughout the championships. She's over in lane 6 for Notre Dame.
And now you see Notre Dame come up there and make that move here. Really strong into that third 25 and this last 25.
It's a great leg by Crispin over in lane number 6. Gives Notre Dame the lead at 1:37.70 into the third leg. Scannell is there for the Fighting Irish.
If I was critical, I would have liked her to come into that finish just a little bit better, a little bit of a glide. But if you go back and watch this, just my little critique, just to work on the little things. Heard Yusuf talk about that tonight, right?
For sure. Lowe is in second for North Carolina. North Carolina actually is going to have the lead at 2. To the second. And start here for Carolina here in this third leg.
Yeah, I like the tempo here of Lowe. You know, the legs really get into it, but she doesn't slow the tempo of the arms down. That's power, coordination, drive the head down, hit that finish. look at all 4 teams.
This
almost.
is nearly even. And look, Florida State for the first time, Quaglieri takes the lead here into the anchor leg. Again, Florida State is over in lane number 2. Chelsea Fig is swimming for Notre Dame in lane number 6. Grace County for North Carolina in lane 4. Sarah Snyder in lane 8 for Duke. Final 50.
Grace, the senior, anchoring for North Carolina, showing that experience right here where they went in almost simultaneously, and she's pulled away from the field by a body length.
UNC finished 6th in this event last year at the championships. And to Brooks' point, it's all counted there for UNC. County's going to get there and going to have the top time for the Tar Heels. 3:14.38 for North Carolina. Fantastic finish for the UNC women.
And that is an A qualifying time for them going into NC2A. So great swim at about a 2-second drop, 2.5-second drop from the time they were entered in.
There's the top 3 to beat. North Carolina, 3:14.38, followed by Florida State and Notre Dame. And for the final women's side, here we go.
And let's look at lanes 4 and 6. I'm going to give you the lineup. UVA is going with Douglas, Alex Walsh, Tiltman, and then Gretchen Walsh. So 3rd and 4th legs are by the freshmen. NC State looks to stack it up a little front. Burkhoff leading it off, Alons, followed by Aarons, and then the freshman Crush at the end of that relay for North Carolina State. Virginia won all 5 relays last year. They clinched this. They will sweep the relays again. And let's also mention 3 out of the 4 relays swum already have been done in American record time.
Take your mark.
You have some of the best swimmers in the nation. Albiero's in lane 2 for Louisville. Douglas, the Olympian, in lane 4 for Virginia. Burkhoff winning multiple events for North Carolina State at 6. Shackelford, lane number 8 for Virginia Tech. Virginia is looking to three-peat in this event. Last year's time at 3:10.14. They finished silver at the NCAAs last year.
And we have the calm, cool composure of Douglas. Catherine Burkhoff with the experience as well. Right in the middle of your pool.
Douglas, the Olympian, on the head over Burkhoff. Lanes 4 and 6. Here comes leg number 2. NC State, Burkhoff with the lead. 46.93 in heat 3.
Alex Walsh here going second, up against Kylie Alons. American record, 3:07.61, held by Stanford with the 3 Olympians on Manuel, Ledecky, Hugh, and then the 3rd Olympian would be Neal. That was broke in 2017. So let's see how we're looking halfway here.
Walsh against Alons for Virginia, North Carolina State. It's Virginia out in front with the Olympian Walsh. Her sister will swim the anchor leg. Walsh is going to give way to Tiltman.
Yep, the freshman.
1:33.74, still UVA looking for the three-peat here in the 400 freestyle relay.
Great underwaters there.
See what Ahrens can do to challenge Tiltman. She's a sophomore in lane number 6.
These girls have had a stacked event, swimming every day. They're putting it all on the line. This is it. There is nothing left. My grandfather used to tell me it wasn't a strong enough and hard enough race if the veins in your neck weren't popping out.
Tiltman is in first there for Virginia. Ahrens in second. Here comes the anchor leg with 2 freshmen. It's going to be between Gretchen Walsh for Virginia against Annabelle Crush for North Carolina State.
Gretchen Walsh finally getting to swim with her sister. This is like the start of the trend. You know, first year at college, they're both together. She committed as a junior. She's going to lead them here.
2:43.78 to the final 50 here for Walsh and Crush.
Get into this third turn off that wall strong. She's going to lead them. UVA is going to sweep the relays again. Clock is at 3:04 right now.
Gretchen Walsh gets the three-peat for Virginia, 3:08.22, and another gold for the Cavaliers.
That is a meet, conference, and pool record. About a half second off of that American record, but a little over 4 weeks to go before they're back here again. Can they find that half second?
So congratulations there to Virginia and sweeping the relays for a second consecutive year. NC State second, Louisville third, and coming up, the men's 400-yard freestyle relay. Here's the men's standings. It's North Carolina State out front over Louisville and Virginia Tech in third as NC State looking for their 7th title in the last 8 years. Looking on at ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips in attendance. Like he He's done for all the fall ACC championships. Will do so for the ACC Winter Olympic Sports Championships in the coming weeks. Great to have Commissioner Phillips here. Now starting the 400 freestyle relay on the men's side. Boston College, Duke, and Pitt. Remember, Miami with no men's program.
Take your mark.
I had a chance while you guys were calling the diving, I stood over here and talked to him for a little bit just about the performance of the ACC and how proud he is of the coaches. We've talked about the depth of the ACC swimming and diving championships all week. We've talked about how well they're performing with the other conferences and just the growth that the ACC has had over the last few years in swimming. And Commissioner, they're just ecstatic about what he's seeing here.
To your point, remember Louisville fit the NCAAs on the men's side last year. NC State in 8th place finish. Virginia at 9th. Miami 19th. Into the second leg, 43-84. Duke with the lead in the first heat there for Duke, thanks to Coleman. Credits giving way to Charlie Gingrich. So we're on in lane number 4. Kelly's over in lane number 2 for Boston College. He's in third. Chrissy, the Pitt is in lane number 6. And the Panthers are in second. There's the leader. Gingrich there for Duke. Closing in is Pitt over in lane number 6 here in the first heat. Top time will win our last gold of the championships. Up 3 heats. Going on to Sanford here for Duke. 1:26.56 into the third leg for the Blue Devils and company.
Duke doing a great job of starting this race off early and just looking to extend their lead really with each leg of the swimmers. Doing their part. Every swimmer has a key part in these relays.
Well, Sanford has had a remarkable ACC championships across multiple events. You see him here with the lead there for Duke, led by their head coach Dan Colella. There's the turn. Pitt's in second. Tanzanian's in second. Floyd is in third. McIntyre's going to try to take it in his first heat for Duke. Off the blocks here. 2:09.34.
Clean water for them, which is what they wanted. The coaches asked for, looking for those 8 times to get into the NC2As. 2:50.99 is the time that Duke's looking for. They're entering at 2:55.19.
Final 50 here for McIntyre.
All Duke in this first heat. This will be the time to be going into 2 and 3.
They finished 10th last year. The ACC's won by NC State. We'll see them in Heat 3 as the finish here for the Blue Devils. All the way around. Well done for Duke to cap off their championships. 2:52.71 for the Blue Devils.
Great efforts by those guys.
There's Credich, Gingrich, Sanford, followed by McIntyre. See, loves that there. It's coming at the ACCs. There's the results so far. Duke, Pitt, and Boston College. Congratulations again to those programs on the men's side, just like the women's side as well, wrapping up their 2022 ACC championships. So again, 2:52.71, the time to beat. We now go over to heat number 2. Notre Dame's going to be in lane 2, followed by Georgia Tech in the home pool in lane number 4, Florida State in 6, North Carolina on the outside at lane 8. Sangalia's going to start off. We mentioned what Propuntis can do. He's going to have that first leg for Georgia Tech. There's that yellow signature cap for him in lane number 4.
Teams cheering these guys on all the way to the end. You're the last 4 swimmers of your team to swim here at the championships.
Take your mark.
start in lane number 6 for Versace. Florida State. Also Giuliano for Notre Dame. He's in lane number 2. The first turn at 20-30 for the Seminoles. Notre Dame in the strong swim in this opening leg there by Giuliano.
Down at the bottom of your screen, too. Notre Dame.
42-34, Fighting Irish, led by head coach Bob Grothseth. Over to Kason Wilburn, the junior. Still out in front for Notre Dame at this turn and final 50 in the second leg. 102-14 there for Notre Dame.
Looks like he's pulled away a little bit from the rest of the field.
Florida State and North Carolina 2 and 3 right now, vying for that second spot. Georgia Tech well behind in 4th in this heat. Looks along for his third leg here for Notre Dame, 124-62 for the Fighting Irish.
Great launch off the dive there from him. So much
Ben is
power.
in second for Florida State, you're right. That was a terrific start off the blocks there for Notre Dame in the third leg.
Florida State here in lane 6.
44-90, yep, let's see the Seminoles, they're right there, Brooke. Still with that lead slightly, but here comes Florida State surging with Herbet.
They did close that gap a little bit. Let's see how he gets up and into that wall.
It's Herbet against a long right here. McCusker from Florida State's going to come on against Lakachev for Notre Dame. Notre Dame has the lead into the anchor leg, 2:07.95. The time to beat Duke, 2:52.71.
Great surge for Florida State there.
McCusker's turnover in lane number 6 for Florida State. They have the lead at 2:27.72 into the final 50. Here from McCusker.
No hesitation into that turn. Just took that last stroke in.
It's McCusker against Lukashev. McCusker is going to take it for Florida State at the top time so far in the 2 heats. 2:50.15 there for the Seminoles. Well done.
And that's the time that we were talking about, the A time. 2:50.99 is what they needed, so they got under that.
Florida State, Notre Dame, followed by UNC. So Notre Dame's going to move into second right now. Duke is going to fall out actually into 4th. North Carolina's going to leapfrog them. All right, it's going to set up the final heat of the ACC Championships in 2022.
UVA there in lane 2. Remember, we saw them break the American record in the 200 free relay following the ladies. They saw the ladies just swim and break the meet record. Can they, out of lane 2, get another win in this freestyle relay? North Carolina State in the middle of the pool. They will be crowned your ACC champions on the men's side. I think key for them, be fast, but be safe on their starts. You know, we had the early takeoff earlier in the week. They had that infraction there in the medley relay last year. So they get a little excited, but we want to have a good clean exchanges for them.
North Carolina State men won last year at 2:48.19. They've won it the last 2 years, looking for the three-peat.
Take your mark.
North Carolina State holds the meet record, the conference record, the American record, the NCAA record, and the pool record.
They've won 8 of the last 9 ACC golds in this event. All right, the 400 freestyle relay to cap off the championships.
Virginia Tech out in front.
leg there by Youssef Ramadan, who has 2 ACC golds individually. He's over in lane number 6 for Tech. Keep an eye on Miller for North Carolina State in lane number 4. Come down to those two. Miller's going to give way to Pizarrowitz against Cole Marty for North Carolina State and Virginia Tech in the middle lanes.
So much power and so much speed in this relay. Like I said, the 50 is like pure speed, but this 100 and this 400 free relay, that's why they put it on the end of the meet.
North Carolina State with the lead at 101.32.
This relay wraps up the Olympic Games. It'll wrap up NC2As. It's wrapping up the ACC Championships.
Pizarrowitz out in lane number 4. Cole Marty not far behind. Here's the surge though by Aikens of Virginia in lane number 2. El Arabi's in the outside. 123.17. NC State with the lead. Anderson's on this third leg. Ivanov as well for North Carolina State and Virginia Tech. How about Boyle as well for Virginia over in lane number 2. Still NC State 142.46 out in front. UVA trying to hold on to second here. Top time 2:50.15 thus far. Still NC State. A good play to Hunter Tapp for this anchor leg. Cuts Tapp off the blocks.
Followed by UVA, the sophomore transfer, Matthew King.
See what King can do. Dominguez Cologne for Virginia Tech. Colton Paulson on the outside for Louisville. Hunter Tapp still out in front. Final 50 of the championships.
King got off that wall great.
Look at King go in lane number 2. Here's the final turn. It's going to come down to Tapp and King. King trying to get there. Tapp has the lead right now. It's going to be close. Tapp for NC State with the touch and a three-peat for the Wolfpack. NC State wins the 400 freestyle relay. 9 of the last 10 years.
What a great performance. Not to take that away from NC State. Leading that from start to finish, the composure of that was phenomenal. But to watch Matthew King as a sophomore, the guts that it took, and to watch that fight and to close that and get it that close, that's impressive. What a great relay for North Carolina State.
Because it looked like Virginia Tech was hanging on into second. I know Louisville was fighting too. Here's the end of the race.
And King, I think, just ran out of pool. Another 5 yards. I think it would have been a little bit closer, but Tapp did so good at holding him off. The junior versus the sophomore. The gusto, the efforts, the emotions, the excitement to close out the championship. Yes.
Put a ring on it, Hunter Tapp. Congratulations to you and the Wolfpack. What an ending to the ACC championships for Braden Holloway's unit. He finishing first, just ahead narrowly of Virginia. Great swim as well, Virginia Tech and Louisville. Congratulations again to those men's programs there. We'll be back with the awards presentations here in Atlanta. Phenomenal swims across the board, capping off day 5, final action at the ACC Championships. Time to hand out some awards here at the ACC Swimming and Diving Championships at Georgia Tech. What a performance by all these schools here in 2022 at the beautiful McAuley Aquatic Center. There's Commissioner Jim Phillips of the ACC getting ready to hand out some hardware. We're going to start out with most valuable diver. Margot O'Mara is going to take it on the women's side. Congratulations, Margot. Terrific performances by her. She got gold on the platform in 1 meter, fourth on the 3 meter, posing with Jim Phillips. Angelo Esposto, her head diving coach for Duke. That's the level Margot has provided with her versatility at the championships. There's Nunzio, head diving coach of Duke. All 3 boards, and so many female divers have excelling on all 3 events for Duke. Congratulations to the most valuable swimmer on the women's side, and Alex Walsh, the Olympian for Virginia, 3 ACC individual golds here. You're looking at not just the best, one of the best swimmers in the nation, but around the world, a Tokyo Olympian. And you're going to hear her name in the 2024 Paris Games for sure, perhaps along with her sister Gretchen. She and Kate Douglas attest to this depth right here from Virginia. Under head coach Todd DeSerbo. Here he is with Alex. What Todd has done there at Virginia has just marveled. Swimming and diving community on their way to their 18th ACC title. It's 2 more crowns than the North Carolina women. They're the defending NCAA champions as well. It's Kate Douglas there, an Olympian too. Following in the footsteps of Paige Madden. And so many gifted swimmers to come out of this program. That's the hardware, and that ACC championship trophy heading the way of Virginia. I think a lot of swimming and diving fans can't wait to see how Virginia does at the NCAAs to defend that national title. Credit to DeSerbo, his coaching staff as well, and everybody at UVA and what they've done there. Remember, head coach Mark Bernardino had a superb run from 2008 to 2016 with 9 straight titles as well. So helping to lay that foundation for UVA. And now DeSerbo coming over and has excelled. Congratulations to the Virginia Cavaliers, who three-peat at the ACC Championships on the women's side. Remember, DeSerbo was named head coach in August 2017. They've set so many records, sweeping the relays again here for the 2nd consecutive year. But not just getting done in the relays, as many who have followed these championships in the years prior, and of course the NCAAs, also those individual events too. The depth that they have, in our conversations before the ACCs with Serbo and the staff, they can plug in numerous student athletes in any given event. DeSerbo can go to student athletes like Douglas, Alex Walsh, and say, what do you want to swim today? They have that depth to back up those that might want to wait for another event. And they delivered again here in Atlanta. Not only did DeServo get it done, but credit the diving side too. Can't forget about diving and Drew Livingston, who's named diving head coach July 2018, coming from Princeton too. It's DeServo and the swimming and diving program of Virginia capturing the championship. Jim Phillips has the trophy, and congratulations to Todd DeServo and the Virginia Cavaliers. Let's go down to Brooke Bennett with the two-time ACC Coach of the Year on the women's side, and Todd DeServo at three-peats for Virginia.
Hey, Coach, how are you doing? First, is there room? Did you already just make room in the trophy case to add another championships, the third in the row?
I think we need a new trophy case.
Put that on for the athletic director. Not a bad problem to have. I'm sure it never gets old watching your ladies stand up here, putting on the hats and the t-shirts. Just talk to me about how you continue to build this program year in and year out.
You know, I think at this point, I just get out of the way and let them do their thing. You know, they just push each other, they build, you know, on each other and support each other, and you know, they're just a family, and they race for each other, and they race for the who's and their parents and the fans and the male counterparts, and it's just it's an easy thing to do.
Well, congratulations, Coach. Congratulations, athletes. I know you have to get ready for one more championship next month. I'm going to let you guys get out of the way and do your thing.
Thank you.
It's the 18th overall ACC title for the Virginia women. Can't wait to see them at the NCAAs and the student athletes participating in zones, both of which will be here at the McAuley Aquatic Center. Virginia women, the moment is yours. ACC champion Virginia Cavaliers, #1 in the country, and will defend their NCAA crown. Waiting for their last few teammates to go into the pool. Head coach Todd DeServo. You ready? You deserve it, Coach. Again, 4th ACC crown the last 5 years, and this is awesome, seeing the rest of the staff jump into a collective effort all the way around on the swimming and diving programs. You know, especially, you got to consider the COVID years as well. And with all these student athletes, the coaches have gone through the last 2 years. It's great to have the fans back here, the time that these student athletes have put in, also not just in the pool, but away from the water as well, in the gym, with a lot of classes being remote, training itself, maybe not being with all the team members at once. And that's not just for Virginia, but that's everybody. Well, once again, congratulations to the Virginia women on a three-peat. You saw one jump, you're ready for another. Men's awards from Atlanta coming up. Back in Atlanta, now time to hand out some hardware on the men's side. Phenomenal men's championships here at the ACC Swimming and Diving Championships. There's ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips. Now time for the most valuable diver. Congrats to Max Flory of Miami. winning gold in the 3-meter. He was superb on all 3 boards, in fact. Got 3rd on the platform and 5th on the 1-meter. Congrats to Max, Zach Cooper as well, and Randy Abelman, and what Miami has done on the diving side and that staff for the Hurricanes. Shining at zones and NCAAs, no doubt. Now time for the most valuable swimmer on the men's side. Youssef Ramadan for Virginia Tech, 2 ACC golds, including tonight. Love the interviews with Youssef. Can't wait to see him blossom and build off this tremendous performance. The ACCs, the NCAAs, and years beyond, and also internationally for Youssef. Congrats to Sergio Miro and the staff over at Virginia Tech. They applied a lot of pressure throughout the championships, I think. Brooke and I and the entire crew commented on what Virginia Tech has done and the depth that they're building there. Virginia Tech, not just on the men's side, I might add, also on the women's side too. A great showcase here at the ACC Championships. While we await the ACC Championship award, we just want to give a shout out to everybody here at Georgia Tech at the McAuley Aquatic Center on a phenomenal job hosting at this terrific venue that housed the '96 Olympic Games. Getting ready for hosting zones. And there's NC State, champions on the men's side.
Thank you.
NC State men have won their 7th title in the last 8 years, an unprecedented 28th overall, which paces the conference on the men's side. And again, it's not just the relays, but it's also the individual events as well for NC State. We saw in the end on that 400 freestyle relay by Tapp, Ross Dant, and others throughout the championships. Spearhead the Wolfpack to another crown. NC State finished 8th at the NCAAs last year. Of course, Texas won, but the moment belongs to the ACC champions and Braden Holloway's unit, the North Carolina State Wolfpack. They will absolutely be in the conversation for the NCAAs. Braden Holloway's team wins the ACC championship. There's the hardware with ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips. 28th overall. Again, as paces the conference, the next best on the men's side, North Carolina. Let's go down to the Brooke Bennett standing by with Braden Holloway, the victorious coach. Brooke.
Coach Holloway, congratulations on the win. After last year and that tough loss, how did you prepare this team to come into here tonight and from really day 1 all the way through day 5, just take control of this competition? They're excited to be there, right?
They're excited to be up there. I mean, great competition across the board. This conference has gotten so good, and it's great to come here and compete against the best. And these guys, I mean, I think they came in, they knew they had a goal, and from day 1, they didn't want to back off. They didn't want to take their foot off the pedal and just take one session at a time, and hopefully end with this result.
Talk about the composure of your seniors, but also being able to bring in some of these great freshmen, how this program is just continuing to grow and what you guys have planned to get better for the next month.
Yeah, I mean, I have to hats off to Eric Knowles, our 5th year on this team, right there, and helping us finish something that he's been here for so long. And these young guys, I think a big reason why they came to NC State is to do some things like this and to join this great family. And I think they're learning each and every day, and I think it's a bright future for this men's team.
Well, congratulations. I'm going to step out of your way. Oh, one
Hey,
more thing.
I'm going to give a shout out to Julia Poole. We love you, Julia. We love you.
Congratulations.
Braden Holloway, a 7-time ACC Men's Coach of the Year. 2017 ACC Women's Coach of the Year as well. Moment here belongs to the man of NC State. Gets 7th title in the last 8 years. Remember all the heartbreak last year, losing by 2 points to Louisville. Not this year, says NC State. Oh, by the way, they led from the outset of the championships, just like the Virginia women. Saw one splash, it's time for another. The moment belonging to the Wolfpack. Swimmers like Lucas Miller, Lazarowitz, Noah Henderson, Hunter Tapp, David Curtis, Holloway into the water, leading the NC State program. Cheering on their whole coaching staff. Remember, Coach Holloway is a 2001 grad of NC State. He was named head coach in 2011. What a program he's built over time at NC State. You can see the respect that these men have for their coaches and the rest of the staff. I also want to give a shout to the women's side as well on a remarkable championships for the NC State women too. We're right behind Virginia women the whole way. Rest of the staff coming in. Oh yeah, belly flop, why not? All right, guys, it's your turn for NC State. 2022 ACC champions. Phenomenal showcase by the Wolfpack here at the McAuley Aquatic Center. Can't wait to see what they do at the NCAAs. When we return, we'll wrap up the entire championships after this. Here's the final standings of the ACC championships. Congratulations again to North Carolina State, the 28th overall title. Louisville, who won last year, finishes in second. Virginia Tech, testing to their depth, gets the bronze here at the ACC. On the women's side, congratulations to Virginia and head coach Don DeSerbo on the three-peat. NC State women in his second. There's that depth on the men's and women's side for the Wolfpack. Louisville as well, right up there for the Cardinals for the bronze. Just want to give a shout out to the hardworking men and women, our entire crew all week at Georgia Tech. Phenomenal job all the way around. For our producer, Jack Ram, director Will Belkey, Brookman and Jason Ballman, and our entire ACC Network crew, I'm Dave Leno. Once again, congratulations to the Virginia women and the NC State men. That puts a bow on the 2022 ACC championships from Georgia Tech.